Going on, everybody? Scapegoat here, and welcome to the Goat Time Podcast. Today we are going over the anime. We got a bunch of great guests here today, and we have a special guest starring Yugioheverything's Dylan. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I didn't think you were going to just, announce me that quick, but I appreciate it. I'm very thankful to be here. You're a great creator. Everyone actually on this panel is a great creator in the community, so I think this is going to be a very fun and awesome discussion. So I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy too. Do you want to promote anything or do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be quick. I run a YouTube channel called Yugioheverything. I created it probably about 5 years ago at this point. Really just focuses on the anime entirely, mostly whatever anime is going on. So, right now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is the main one. I do episode reviews every week. I run a live stream on there every Wednesday night where we go in depth about the episodes. I did it with Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, plan to do it with whatever the eighth show is. And I also do theories, not as often, but I'll do theories and discussion videos on the older shows. I used to do it a lot more when the channel first started, but as you get older and you have to, you have to get another job to just live, especially in New Jersey, which just sucks. But I've kind of run out of time. I don't have as much free time as I used to, definitely. So those videos are kind of at a premium now. They don't happen as often as they used to, but I love doing it. I love talking about whatever the current anime is. I also stream on Twitch. Super Deep Rot is my Twitch name. I do a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh related streams on there, but mostly Mario games, Pokemon games. So that's kind of like my branch out of Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit. Although there's still Yu-Gi-Oh content, it's kind of confusing. But if you want to check out those two channels, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, Scapegoat, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man, and we all love you. So definitely check out Dylan. He's a wonderful creator, and hope to have him on here again soon. Next up, we have Gilligabyte. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yeah, of course. You want to just plug whatever you want to plug in?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Gillygabyte, Gillygabyte, or you can also follow me on Twitch. I try to live stream and on YouTube Gillygabyte. I'm going to be opening up a lot of product recently, and I got a new series coming out, so keep an eye out for it. If you guys like cube format, I got a whole breakdown for that.
Awesome. Sounds very good. Next up, we have Duel Link Entertainment's very own number hunter, Kamel. How you doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. And I'll get right into the introduction. I'll make it quick. I'm DLE Kamel, like I said, and I am one of four people who run Duel Links Entertainment, and we are just really focused on fueling the Duel Links competitive community and just getting as many people into the game as we can and making sure everyone has something enjoyable to say or do in Duel Links. That's our whole thing, and Duel Links Entertainment should be our names on pretty much everything. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We do 6 tournaments a week and new player help.
Yeah, definitely very helpful for all the new player help because a lot of people just getting into the game still, and they definitely need guides. I still see people who need help, so definitely great.
Glad to give it.
Next up, we have Kay Apple Cheeks 21. How you doing?
I am doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Everyone doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much did my intro before, but like Apple21 Twitter. One day I'll get a PC so I can use streams, but yeah, right now it's just Twitter, and that's basically it.
Yeah, mostly you're artist too, right?
Yeah, I am an artist. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. I see a lot of your it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Zell content, right?
Yes,
With Quattro?
I do. Yeah, I do a lot of that stuff. Sorry.
No, I enjoy it. So
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Okay. But yeah, I'm on there. If anybody wants to like ask me anything on there, feel free to. Pretty much anything comment wise, question wise, I'm available to answer there. So yeah.
Awesome. We appreciate having you.
Glad to be here.
No problem. Next up, we actually have a legend in here. I witnessed him from Pokemon Cypher like years ago. Token Black, non-ETF. How you doing, boy?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm good. Legend. That's a big word right there. Appreciate it.
No problem. I like your lyrics flow in my head like every day, dude. It's crazy.
Yo, appreciate it. Yeah, I go by Token Black. on Twitch, Token Black _ I've been streaming a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, mostly GOAT format, doing Yu-Gi-Oh content on TikTok as well, TikTok Token _ and then on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, there is a mixtape called Trap Card the Mixtape, and then Trap Card 2. So Trap Card the Mixtape is an all Yu-Gi-Oh mixtape. Trap Card 2 is the sequel to that, and I'm going to be doing another one really soon. So just I love Yu-Gi-Oh, I love rap. I put them together and I made something. So I'm excited to be here, man. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think another one of your tracks I heard pretty recently was with Neshi, the Crystal Beast track.
Oh yeah, that was fun to do. Crystal Beast is one of my favorite decks, so that was really fun to do.
Yeah, for sure. I love it, man. I can't wait to hear more. So definitely when it comes out, feel free to like spam that everywhere. I'm gonna retweet it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Noah Jenk, you're up. How you doing?
What it do, gamers? It's your boy Noah Jink. I am here to party.
That it, man?
I mean, hey, man, we did the introductions week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is. Noah Jink on every social media, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. Working on some stuff right now. You can look forward to that. What Makes a Duel, as always, you can check it out. We got some good stuff cooking. So, yeah, in the meantime, I'm here with all these other goats, and we are going to have a good time talking about some anime.
Sounds good to me. Last but not least, we have Slifer the Sky Dragon, another talented artist in the community. And how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I guess short intro. Been into Yu-Gi-Oh since it got brought over to US. Been drawing fan art for a while. If you guys want to see more of my art, it's on DeviantArt under Slifer the Sky Dragon, no spaces. And then I do art streams on Twitch, same name. And then Twitter is at Demon Autumn U. I guess.
Awesome, that sounds great. So that's pretty much it. That's everybody we got for today. So now we're just gonna head into the anime, right? I guess. But first up, do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Shiro. Shiro is a very talented artist in the community. He's just posting in the chat right now on time. He makes a lot of playmats, a lot of field centers, and he does all the chibi art for our channel, as you may see on the screen. Very talented artist. Let's put his URL in the chat, and you guys can go check him out at ygyoshiro.com. Incredible artist. After that, we do have the wonderful giveaway that we're doing today for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zell coin. It's a Duel Links prize, but I thought it'd be fitting. For this episode because it's anime related, because that is a Zexel. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're giving away today. You just have to type in !giveaway or !scapegoat, and you'll be able to get that. And I may.
I want a second one.
You want? No, you don't get one, dude. We already have one.
Yeah, just give it to us.
Come on, I need to put it next to the one I already have in my trophy case.
Now you can't just hoard it, man. Come on, what is this? Ban this man.
No. So.
Yeah, that is a great piece of Yu-Gi-Oh history right there.
That is, yeah. It's actually way bigger than what you'd probably imagine. It's bigger than like a quarter or something. It's like what, the size of your fist, maybe?
Yeah, it's like the size of the entire palm of my hand, I'd say.
Yeah, it's really beautiful too. I'm happy we have another one in addition to the one we already have. So definitely able to give that away for funsies. So that's awesome. We'll take that. I'll leave it on the screen for now. Actually, I have no other things to put on screen, so I'll just keep that up the whole rest of the stream. So, just a reminder for people in there to type in !scapegoat or giveaway and whatnot, and you'll be entered. All right, 1 second. So, Dylan, why don't you run us by the anime? What is the Yu-Gi-Oh anime? What's it about from 0 to 7s?
That I got to be honest, that might be one of the craziest questions I've ever been asked. That is a loaded question, my friend.
I gotta load up some tabs. You gotta do this.
I will do my best to, oh my god, man, I was not expecting that. So yeah, season 0 well, it's commonly known as Season Zero. It's really the Toei anime that was made by, or the Yu-Gi-Oh anime that was made by Toei Animation before the card game was really established. I think by this point, most people, I'm sure everyone in this podcast knows, but maybe there's a couple people in chat that don't, that the anime, or really the franchise of Yu-Gi-Oh was not originally made to be a card game. For a very long time, Yu-Gi-Oh was a bunch of different games that would be played, and that's why in Season Zero, which chronologically takes place in the manga before Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, you don't really see much of the card game. Now, you do have a few elements, you do have a few episodes of the card game. It's also why in Duelist Kingdom, the card game is more focused because Konami realized how much popular it was becoming, and Kazuki Takahashi, who was obviously the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, and again, if I'm wrong, people can correct me, but I'm pretty sure people would write into him and talk about how interesting the card game that he would always do was, and how they wanted to know more about it and see more cards from it. And eventually Yu-Gi-Oh became Yu-Gi-Oh, but in its very early days it was not meant to be just one game, just one big card game, which is kind of hard to think of now, given how it's one of the most, if not the most popular card game in the world. So that's kind of crazy, but it's why Season Zero doesn't really have any dueling elements in it, or very little dueling elements. Duelist Kingdom, they're just making stuff up because there were no established rules at that point in the anime. And then when you get to Battle City, it starts looking more like the game we're familiar with in today's day and age. And then, of course, GX and onwards, it became mainly focused on that card game fully. Not to say Duel Monsters wasn't, but in the beginning of Duel Monsters, and even at the end of Duel Monsters when they were in Egypt, that whole season 5, there wasn't that much dueling going on if you look back. And I know, there have been some reports that Kazuki Takahashi never really wanted it to be, just a card game. I'm not sure if any of those reports are actually verified or not. I could see that they might be, because some people would say that it kind of deviated from what his original ideas were to have Yu-Gi-Oh be a bunch of different games. But he doesn't really work on. I think the last Yu-Gi-Oh he worked on was Zexal, and that was very very minorly. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how it went from the early stages of the manga, which was almost like a horror manga, to Yu-Gi-Oh Sevens, which, I mean, you want to talk about a completely different tone from those early stages. It's pretty interesting, but one manga formed 6 great spin-off series and one very iconic anime, and it's been a fun 20 years, and I always say long live Yu-Gi-Oh. Hopefully it'll just keep going.
Yeah, 100%. I could just listen to you talk for hours, honestly. It's so crazy, dude.
Well, thank
You
you.
have
I'll take that as a compliment.
For sure. So I do want to jump into some viewer questions. I did a little thing on Twitter for people to write in. If you didn't get in from the Twitter thing, you can always dono or sub, and I'll answer your question, or we'll have somebody on the cast answer your question as an incentive for that. But people who are on the Twitter, they got in here. We have at Slumbering Star. Who is best girl? I'm mostly gonna put guy in there too, because we gotta do both, man. For me, it's Carly Carmine is best girl, and for best boy, I like Kaito, Tenjo, and Bruno, like Antinomi, all that stuff. What about you guys?
Yeah, best boy is pretty much undoubtedly Bruno. I don't think there's really any question in that. Best girl? I don't know, dude. That's a hard question. I'm gonna go. Yeah, Aki's cool. Why not? I mean, Aki's cool in like the first part of 5Ds. I'll say.
I'm gonna go down the list periodically, just so we don't have everybody can talk, because I'm gonna
Dude,
say that and
I'm
people are just gonna
get
jump at it.
chaotic free for all.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I
So
thought.
I
I didn't
got
know if we
you.
were going chaotic or like down the line.
yeah, I gotta
Break loose.
I gotta put some
Alright,
structure
okay,
in there.
cool.
So we'll start with
Alright.
Dylan this time.
Okay.
Yeah, best boy. Bruno's a very good pick. I'm
Hey.
never gonna argue that. But that being said, I'd probably go Yusei. Same show, same friend group, but I'm probably going Yusei. Best girl. I mean, for the longest time, it was always Aki for me. I gotta say though, I think maybe the only one that's seen the show in full. Roman in Yu-Gi-Oh Sevens has been incredible through 46 episodes,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
I
think
have heard that they're a pretty great character.
That's a good pick right there.
yeah, no, yeah. Have you seen Seven's Token Black?
Yeah, I've seen most of it. I'm not all the way caught up, but I've seen like the progression from the beginning to where I'm at now, like 26 or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And actually, one of her best moments you haven't even gotten to yet. So if you're saying that about her and you haven't
Oh,
even
see,
gotten to
there
it,
you go.
yeah. So like, trust me, she even gets better. So I would say because Aki, what happened to her in the second half, I'd probably say Rome. I mean, it's so preemptive to say that when the show's not even done, but Aki or
Yeah.
Roman for me, those are my top two.
Dude, I feel like everybody in here is caught up on sevens but me. Like I watched up to like the Yame Ruler episode, and then I was like, I'm gonna get back to this, and then I never
I
did.
think I think a lot of people kind of started but dropped it within like the first 10 episodes.
Well,
or
I
so.
think because there was that little gap when
It was the it was the gap.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did
It
go
was
on
the coach.
hiatus.
Yeah,
Correct?
it was that
Yeah.
gap. But as someone, I'm just behind on it. But I'm like watching it vicariously through everybody else.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
However, I wish I could watch it full, but it's not on a legal streaming site, and I'm kind of
wah.
scared of watching it on like an illegal streaming site. That's just me though.
No, it's
FBI
valid.
open up.
Valid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
that's a vibe.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. That's definitely
Yeah,
fair.
for real.
But Sevens has a neat little cast.
Yeah, definitely.
Gilligabyte.
So best boy is of course my boy Playmaker. He's the character that you always want to win, and he does. He dominates. He is just, I think, a really cool character. I really wish they did so much more of his story with towards the end of the season, but I'm sure we'll get more into that. Best girl is probably Ghost Girl for me, only because like she was just like such a strong character. I wish it was Aoi, but they really kind of just threw her character as like as the as they do with the female
Criminal.
protagonist.
True
Often.
criminal.
Dude,
Often.
they legit threw her out of a window and like she broke her
Yeah,
neck, dude.
I was rooting for her. I was just like, oh, she's so cool because
she-
like she seemed like such a strong like player, but
Hey, you know
she
what? I
ended
kind
up
of
going
Dude,
to
that
the
happens
wayside.
with
No,
every
I
girl
kind of
in
want to say
Yu-Gi-Oh.
something, right? She had like 3 form changes. They were all great, and I felt like with each one, it really moved her character forward. But she got trashed in the duels, unfortunately.
Mhm.
A lot of the times.
She even got the what is it, the AI, and like she still didn't really do
Yes.
much. Yeah.
Ah, well, she did beat Ai's main guy. You know, no
Mm.
spoilers, but yeah.
Ow, spoilers.
No spoiler.
Well, since you're talking, Kamal, you want to go for your characters?
Yeah, I'm gonna say best boy for me is Shun Kurosaki from Arc 5.
Let's
Hey,
go.
okay, no, I like you.
Yeah,
He
great choice.
is my favorite guy character. I just feel like I really like just really felt his story, like where he came from, and his emotions clearly showed in how he was interacting with the other characters. Right, he was clearly like different from them because he experienced different things. And then I'm gonna say for best girl, I kind of liked Serena from Arc 5 as well because I felt like her attitude amongst the people in the group was different. You know, she was from the GX world. She was like a really serious person, and then she kind of like grew to trust everyone else. So
Serena's that's kind of a black sheep pick.
yeah, I mean, I was sitting here and I was like, oh, man, who is my best girl? And I was trying to think of reasons for other people, but I couldn't really think of one, like
Yeah.
a great one. But her, I really liked her as a character.
Oh,
and
she's
her
great.
group.
She's great.
So yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Serena
cool.
Shun.
I do like those choices. I love Shun a lot. I think his character's really cool. I don't think we had a
Right,
character
yeah.
quite like that since like Zane.
Yeah, he has some of the most banger duels in all of the series. If you haven't seen Arc V, he has a lot of really insane duels. Him versus Crow, him versus Dennis. You know, they're all great.
Dude, the Dennis duel. I love Dennis, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I changed my answer. Dennis, my best boy.
All right, Kay, what do you got?
Oh God, that's kind of difficult because if I were to pick, there's a bunch of characters that I liked, and it's hard to like layer them all into who is best boy and best girl. I'm probably gonna go with best girl first because there's a fewer candidates. I haven't seen Sevens yet, and I want to see Sevens, as everyone knows, but like once I start watching that again, I'm probably gonna say Roman. But right now, it's like a tie between Aki and Carly, and this is like before the whole thing went down with the whole rewriting kind of thing. This was before that. I liked those two, and I still do. I still like them both. Best boy, that's gonna be really hard. Let's see. So the ones I have so far, it's like there's like 4 of them. There is of course my main boy, who I really he brings me so much joy for. It's just I think it's his colors, but also everything, his attitude and the overall multifaceted character. There's also Yuma. I love Yuma too. He's basically someone that people can relate to. You start out, you can start out bad, or you can start out good, or you can just like tumble along and then just start climbing the ladder. Or like the
Yeah.
other two would be like Gosh and Ellet, and those are like the random, really black sheep characters. And I just like, I like you, I like you, I like your attitude and your energy, and that's basically that's basically what I can say.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I did not expect a Yuma answer, but that's fine. That's fine.
I didn't either. I'm gonna keep it real.
You guys are underestimating Kay's love for Zale here.
That's true. That's true. I knew Quattro. I knew he was gonna pop up.
But like Yuma's the fresh air that like some of the shows really kind of needed. Like it was great to have people that had started out and played really well, but it felt so much better to have someone who was terrible at the game but climbed all the way to the top. Even if he got battered and bruised, he just climbed to the top and just continued his way. He didn't care.
And
Do you
be
remember
really
when he like popped off after he did like a normal XC summon in episode 1?
Oh yeah, no, it was
Oh
episode
my
2.
God, I'm the
He
greatest.
just like did
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big old backflip, and then he just like pulled the card.
No,
He
dude,
fell on his
he
back.
flipped.
Yeah, big old backflip. I want that activity.
Good times, dude. I miss that like early like bad duelist Yuma.
Yeah, like bad duelist Yuma is like refreshing because you
Because
didn't
nobody else was
always
bad.
see a win. Yeah,
Yuki was good. Judai was
Yuki
good.
was good too. Yes,
Yusei never lost a duel on screen during 5Ds. Never lost a duel. Straight up.
that is true. That is true. But yeah, those are my standings still.
For sure. Awesome. We love to hear. Token, you want to go next?
So mine is gonna be I'm gonna start with best boy. So since we just talked about Yuma, somebody that people can relate to, I'm always gonna pick Jaden for this answer or for this question because GX is one of my favorite seasons, but also like he's somebody that people can relate to too. He did start off really good, but there was still a lot of things that he had to learn. So just seeing the progression from start to finish from that, especially season 3 and 4, like the way that turned was crazy. And then best girl, I'm going Akiza because Akiza is just amazing, especially in 5Ds. And she was a ride or die, so I definitely can appreciate that.
Completely understandable. No explanation needed, you know?
she was a ride or die. I can always appreciate that. But definitely best girl, I gotta go Akiza.
I feel like Akiza is definitely like a staple when you talk about best girl. It's like always what? It's like Akiza, it's like Mai, Shizu. Those are like always the go-tos in people's heads.
Yeah.
Alexis,
I
maybe.
feel like I don't hear enough Mai actually. To be
That's what I
Really?
was gonna say. You don't hear Mai as much as you hear like Alexis or like somebody else. You would
Yeah,
think
that's
Mai
fair.
would be
Alexis
up
and
there.
Akiza probably the two
the way,
best
the way
ones.
you just
Yeah.
said, or somebody else, has me thinking like, who is he thinking? Who's he thinking right now? I'm trying to-
You got Mai. You said it's Shizu, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Shizu,
Shizu.
She's always gonna be
See,
up there.
Shizu was gonna be one of those characters that I did pick, but I was like, I was looking for those reasons. Like, why do I like
Yeah, what is
Dude,
the
it's just like
actual?
you-
Strong,
Wait,
powerful
you're
woman.
picking out your way to not pick a protagonist. It's like who's picking
Dude, like-
Serena and Ishizu over
Yeah,
here?
Yeah, but Carly Crown, my best girl. Anyway, Slifer, you want to go next?
Yeah, for best girl. I mean, I'm sorry, I gotta pile onto a Go Akisa pile, but But no, yeah, I really liked her as a character and just how she kind of overcame her situation and learned to kind of trust people, I guess. But like towards the end, I feel like her character and same with Aoi, I feel like both got kind of shafted towards the end. Like it's like yeah, they were still really badass duelists, but they just I don't know why they just can't give them an L, or like give them a win, just like give them a win. Let me see that win. But no, for best boy, I'm probably one of like 3 people on the planet that's gonna say this, but I really like Aporia.
Huh?
Like
What?
he's
Why?
what do you mean?
That
why?
reaction.
So he's got like I know he's got like the craziest character design, but I really liked his backstory, and yeah, he comes off as like oh man, it's the big villain of the series, but he kind of goes through a redemption arc, and I really like that, and he helps like Leo develop as well, and all these other characters, and plus he's the reason like Yusei could fly around on his motorcycles. Spoilers.
I will say, right,
No
like
spoilers. No
when,
spoilers.
when they had the reveal that he was like all 3, I was like, what?
Now that was kind of dope. That was a little bit
I
dope.
was like, oh
Okay.
my, you kidding me?
But
Jose
that being said,
transforming though.
Slifer, there are so many boys in this series. Please, anybody else?
Pick the robotic
No.
boy. Pick the robotic one.
You pick all the other boys. I gotta go with my man Aporia. Nobody.
You know what? You know what? No, respect. That's fine.
All I can say is that Slifer and I have the obscure choices.
Yeah, somebody's gotta pick him, right? So take one for the team,
yeah.
Slifer.
That's true.
So
No,
I'm
you
going to
pick
change my
that
answer one
one.
more time because I thought about it more.
Or was it a 5Ds? Jesse Wheeler? It's like Joey Wheeler's cousin.
Jesse Wheeler.
Change my answer one more
That'd be
time.
funny.
Best boy is either Shark or Dennis.
Ooh.
Shark is a good.
I don't like
I'm
Dennis,
surprised-
man.
I'm
But Shark's
surprised
pretty
no one
cool.
said Shark.
Respectable answer.
I love me some Shark, dude.
Shark
I
is,
think
that's
Shark-
definitely a respectable answer.
Shark rules. He's like a little Sasuke. He's like a little baby Sasuke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get roasted for liking Rei Shingetsu. I love him. He's so nice.
dude, no, don't let anybody talk down.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
dude. I love that
He's
man,
so
dude.
nice. That's
No, he's godlike.
You stop watching after the second episode he's introduced. He's fine, right?
Yeah, no, you're fine. But no, he's
Just Ray? Just Ray Shingetsu, or do you also like Vector?
I mean, he's like the typical like Yami Bakura and Marek type of character, which I'm not too fond of. But like the pre-reveal, I love Ray, dude.
you don't like that? You don't like the?
I'm not like a fan of it. Yeah,
They had,
that's fair.
they had,
like I appreciate the character, but it's like not like the character I like to gravitate towards. I like the nice like over friendly
okay.
characters.
But Vector is
That's
so
fair.
cool though.
Yeah, he is.
Like
yeah.
it's like, yeah, okay, what if we took like the Bakura or like the whatever like archetype and cranked that up to 11? What would happen?
No, he's
It's
the,
like
he's
the
a
ultimate
Yu-Gi-Oh!
betrayal.
No,
he's a
don't make
Yu-Gi-Oh!
me send
equivalent
you
of-
the carrot meme that it's like a big old buff carrot. Please don't make me do that.
I'm not going to. Hey, you can send me whatever you want to send me. I'm sticking by my opinions. Vector's cool. I like Vector.
No.
Have you-
I'm gonna picture a buff carrot. It's funny.
What is the dub thing? It's the Ray way.
Right? It's
The Ray way. It's the
Oh,
Ray way.
okay.
I'm gonna start saying that.
And when they go to school, oh my god.
I'm glad they kept his name as Ray and not like, I don't know, Raymond or something.
I don't know.
'Cause
I think they
everybody
just wanted
loves
to keep
Raymond.
it close to the original. They did their best with that, which makes sense.
They did. I gotta say, I respect the naming of Kathy Catherine. I'm a big fan of that one in particular.
Well, she didn't have a last name, so it worked.
Yeah, she's just Cat John.
She's just Katja. She's just
She's
Kathy.
just Cat. Literally Cat John.
We got a sub from Switch Kid 2001. Thank you very much, man. If you got a question, put it in the comments.
Oh, there's
Oh, yeah,
questions.
yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
questions. We got a little off the tangent.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
yeah, we're good. We're getting back on right now. And the next question is from @Hoodley on Twitter. If you could, if turbo dueling was real, would you try it?
No.
Like,
What?
if
No,
Turbo
that was
was
quick.
real-
You said no pretty
if
quick.
Turbo Duel
Yeah,
was
no, you
real,
kidding me, dude? I can't even ride a bike. Like, I'm not about to
If
get
Dude, Leo and Luna are on skateboards, dude. Come on. You can do it on a skateboard.
it would totally be an extreme sport. Like,
I'm going no too, but I just had to think about it for like 2 seconds.
Do you
And
remember
it's just
in Arc 5, Jack versus Yuya Part 2 when there's like the giant crowd like just like hyping everybody up and like getting super hype about the duel? That'd be me, right? I'd be in the crowd like losing my mind
right
about
over
it.
there on the side.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, hey, I'll be on the side in the sidelines like cheering, eating popcorn or whatever. But I'm
It's a
not
very
participating.
dangerous thing.
Yeah,
Like
no,
It
just
is.
yeah, you
5Ds
see it?
in general. It's very
But from
dangerous.
the looks of it, right?
It
I would
looks
think
cool.
I would think a lot of it is automated because in Arc V, a lot of those people are riding bikes for the first time and they're doing all type of crazy
And they're
tricks,
like,
stalls. They're turning around to show their
dude,
opponent the card
how
they're
did you get this
activating.
good this
They're
quickly?
like, I'm like, if maybe the Arc V turbo wheels, whatever. I'll ride those.
Yeah.
The D wheels. I'll ride those. Maybe not the 5Ds ones.
Yeah, but
Everybody popping wheelies.
Kamel, do you remember what happened at the end of Yuzu Sergei in Arc 5?
Oh no.
That would be me. This is a hard
Yes.
no. This is a hard no.
Dude,
No
that
way.
duel, for those of you that know Dragon Ball Z, that duel gave me like Vidal Spopovich vibes. I was not a fan.
Yes, that duel was it was
Yeah,
dark.
you feel me on that one? That was not.
Yeah,
That was not a bad
Vidal Popovich. Yeah, for those.
That's
That's
the
a good
duel.
one. It's a good analogy.
Yeah, no
Right?
way. I'm
Yeah.
pro dueling. No way.
Yeah, so personally, no, I'm a no on this answer. If you guys expect me to go full Orcus combo on a motorcycle, there's no way.
Oh,
Like,
Okay, but wait, right? Like, so I imagine it would be like this thing that maybe like, oh yeah, on my bucket list, I want to go turbo dueling. You know, it'd be this thing you do once. If it was
And
something
then you
like that,
never
would
do it
you do
again. Yeah.
Yeah. If it was something
Do
like that, then would you do it?
I'm probably still gonna go with no on just the danger
I'm-
factor that's
I'm gonna
involved
just
is
leave it
like
to the
it's enough for me.
professionals, man.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just realized though. I just realized because there's different kinds of spells and different kinds of turbo duels, right? Because 5Ds has speed spells. Arc 5 has the action cards.
Mm.
Where are we getting at here? Because if we're talking 5Ds, I get to play what is it? Angel Baton, whatever, and like draw 2 for free.
I'm down for action duels though. That is a little bit more doable.
No, you gotta move around, dude. That's crazy. I'm not
Just
doing
an
that.
action duel that'll
Let's
sit
do
down.
it.
like save your life in the turbo duel.
I'm trying to
maybe.
sit down, man.
So you gotta run like 2 miles, and then you get the action card, and then you can play Nibiru.
Bro, Yuma's jumping all over like the house, dude. He's jumping all the way to the ceiling, and I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing
Come
it.
on. He rides a hippo, I guess sometimes, but it's all good.
He does ride a hippo often.
Dude, can you ride like any monster? Because then, shoot, I'd do that. I'd just be like,
Well, like
So,
in one of the openings, right?
that because I had actually thought going into Arc 5 Synchro Arc because of opening 3 that instead of riding motorcycles, they're going to be riding their monsters. And I was super hyped. I was like, oh my god, Yuya's going to ride Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon against like a D wheel, but no, he just rode a D wheel. I was like, okay.
okay,
I guess I'll
what
take
if
that.
you- what if Turbo Duel, but you did it on a Scapegoat? Would you play then? Because it's soft, so like if you fall off, it's just like
I would like
On the road.
I would use the scapegoats as like D pads and elbow pads on a skateboard.
Hey, okay.
Okay,
You're thinking-
now we're getting you're thinking outside the box. I like that.
Classy. Classy.
That is classy. Is
It
that
is
what you said?
classy.
What's classy about that? That's like gaudy as heck.
No, let him tell me I'm classy,
While he's
man.
doing it.
In a
Okay.
suit, alright.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah,
suit, you
different.
know,
Bro, what kind I'm like a thug duelist or something? Like a Yakuza? I don't know, dude.
with your
No,
scapegoat on.
Protection when you're on like a skateboard or anything.
Oh wait, there was one duelist you had like a tuxedo on. It was the person who played the ninja guy. Who was that?
Oh, don't get me started. That's
No,
that's,
no,
isn't
no.
that, like, John
I
Claude
forgot that
Magnum?
episode existed.
yeah, Jean-Claude something.
Oh god.
Can't
Wait,
even
is this
remember.
Is this a filler thing?
Jean Claude Magnum, right? That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Claude I don't know what this is.
It's a Battle City
this is
episode.
from Battle
Oh,
City.
is it a filler?
Horrible.
Okay, I never watched
And then
it.
all the
Yeah,
it's a
they
very-
were going over to the
Wasn't he-
stadium, and then
oh
they
my
get
God.
intervened by this guy on a motorcycle. Hi, I'm Jean Claude Magnum, and he's just like, trying to win Mai over, and she's just like having none of it, and so just a duel happens, and just.
Oh,
the-
is that
just
how
the
they
standard
justify her getting into the like finals in the
No, it
anime?
was not that. It was actually her just like she has to do something else. She has something more important, which is Battle City. But he's just like a monkey wrench in the plans.
Oh, okay. I feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that was certainly a crazy duel. But Mai won it, and girl power, right?
Hey, girl power.
Yep, we love it.
We need this.
So we did get our sub from, what was it, Switch Kid 2001, and he does get to ask a question. His question was, have any of us ever written a Yu-Gi-Oh story like a original fan fiction? And I have not personally.
I have
Sorry.
not either.
I have not.
I
No.
have, but I tried to burn it off the internet.
Well,
Here-
we'll
here
pull it
we
up real
go.
quick. We got donos
Yeah,
for
you
it.
tried to burn it
Scour-
off. It's there
scour the
somewhere
internet.
still.
To answer the
Here I am.
question,
I'm
no,
just
I
in the
haven't
corner.
either.
I don't like to share things because I get like fear, and then I have a friend. He lives over in Australia right now. His name's Lunik. He makes a webcomic called Brains 2.0, which is very good, by the way. He's urged me to make my thing into a webcomic. I'm trying to do that. I've had some monkey wrenches in the plans, but I'm doing that. I just don't like promoting it yet until there's like a lot of content. So that's just my thing. So I'm just trying to,
No, to be
work on
fair, the
this.
question was just if you wrote it. You don't really have to go in depth.
Oh yeah,
though.
but like yeah, but still, it's I have
No
written
worries.
it, but it's just like I've been like urged to illustrate it too. So
I've never written
Alright.
a fan fiction necessarily regarding Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have written like stuff about card lore that I really like.
that's
Um,
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
uh, outside of that, I've always wanted to get into writing stuff about the ships that I like, specifically like Judai and Majome. But like outside of that, I've never really written any fan fiction or anything though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
pretty much
like-
everybody, right?
Me
It's like
neither.
Slifer and K. That's pretty much it. Aside from
what I
Noah
was
with
looking
the
at.
card
We're
lore.
the only ones.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know, like, where do they come up with the names for all the ships? Like, they don't.
Dude,
that's
there's
the
some
thing,
crazy ship
that's
names
the-
out there.
I
all
mean,
I do,
like,
all I do is combine the names. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know about
yeah.
there's like puzzle shipping and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you doing?
Dude, it's the
It's
same way we
what?
come up with deck names in our games. Or
Yeah, I
our
guess
duels.
so.
You,
Yeah,
you just put
well,
them together.
yeah, just smash it together.
Deck names or ship names.
I didn't even think of ship names as a topic today, but to get back on topic, the next question is from @Christy 11020790. It's a lot of numbers, boy.
Big numbers.
How broken is Zell as a character comparatively to other Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists? So I'm guessing the
Alright.
fusion between Zell and Yunma,
Alright.
Astral.
Okay,
This is for
so
us.
interesting question. I have actually thought very long and hard about this, and I even had a Twitter thread about this the other week where I kind of went into Yu-Gi-Oh power scaling. If you're not familiar with power scaling, if you're a viewer, maybe you're like, "What in the world is that you're talking about?" Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball specifically, I guess as a whole, has had this sort of idea, and I guess Shonen for a long time as power scaling, wherein every other character, in relation to another character, like how strong are they? How strong are they compared to the other one, et cetera, et cetera. So, with that in mind, if we were to power scale Yu-Gi-Oh, not only would Zayal be at the very top of the list, he would break the list. There would be no list as far as Zayal is concerned. He can literally like will the next card into existence. Shining Draw is absolutely busted. It is busted good, right? Like you can't beat Zayal.
Isn't that like comparatively to like let's say Yusaku's like what is that called?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
that's
that,
what I
like,
was
Data
about to like
Storm
get
or
into
isn't
as well.
like
Yeah,
the,
that's
isn't
literally
that-
what I was just gonna like
what was it
compare it
called?
to.
You could also do like I don't know. I guess like a Tim kind of has something similar, but like
I
not
was gonna say that because
Yeah.
because as far as like willing the next card to the top, I don't know if he has like a power that he just does it, but he just I don't even know if he's trying. He just fucking does it, and that's it.
Well, I think that's willing a card in his deck to like the top of his Destiny draw, as compared
Yeah.
to like Zell like creating cards, right?
literally making cards. I want to bring up
generate
real quick.
very
Mega
cards.
Karibo brings up a very good point that Luke actually in sevens is like mad strong as well. Actually,
Question: didn't Yuya like for some reason will pendulums into existence? Don't those like appear or something like that?
they definitely
were-
appear.
Yes, they were kind of a will into existence, but they weren't like he didn't will them into existence. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm not sure.
I don't even know the lore behind that, Dylan.
Dylan, you're the guy here.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with I think when he got broken up by Ray and Leo Akaba, I think that God, my lore actually on that is not as good as it should be. I know with the Vrains thing is called storm access when Playmaker goes into the data storm and he's kind of able to pull any. Well, it's see the thing with Playmaker though is that that ability lets him pull a random card from the data storm. So I would feel like Zale is much stronger than that because Yuma, when he's in that form, can choose what card he wants. I believe the Millennium Puzzle also allows a Tem, kind of a theory that I have, although it's been kind of hinted at, that he can kind of will any card in his deck to the top of the deck to draw. But that still isn't as strong as Zale because, again, with Zale, you're creating a card out of
Literally, yeah.
anything. So it is definitely interesting. The pendulum being created, though, I don't remember if that was Yuya. I think that was more Zark, which I guess Yuya is a part of. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It definitely wasn't just Yuya. I think it was
Okay,
Zark
I was kind of like lost on that because I'm just like I haven't seen it in a long time, but from what I remembered, it was something similar to the power scaling with the willing the cards into existence. It felt like that, but I wasn't sure 100%.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
cards, the cards in his deck when he got pendulums changed to pendulum monsters. They were like normal monsters, and then they became pendulums. But very soon after, Reiji started, making pendulums, and they got kind of very quickly produced and spread to a lot of like lancers and stuff. So it wasn't just like a Yuya method. But he wasn't unlike Zale. He's not able to just create a random pendulum card out of existence. At least I don't think we ever saw that.
I do really appreciate that Arc 5 kind of acknowledges that like it's kind of BS that the cards are just made up and Reiji just prints them. He's like, yeah, no, these are really good. Just print them all.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Here,
Shout out
I'll make
Scope
an argument
Sectors.
for sorry, I'll make an argument for Judai, but doesn't fusion in Yu-Gi-Oh just like you can literally fuse anything, but they don't? So like, wouldn't Judai have the most potential because he could literally fuse anything and kind of make anything in a way?
It depends, because like I feel like for the most part, fusion monsters around that era have like really specific fusion requirements.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there was always stuff like I don't know, like Summoner Monk and Beaver Warrior. Like what?
Yeah. Specific.
Well, like
What would that make?
you could like argue like in the what are the PlayStation games? Because like you could poly literally anything in that game. It would make a card.
Oh, you're talking about
Forbidden Memory.
yeah, so yeah.
Smush
And
everything.
Duels of the Roses and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dark Duel Stories too, where you could just like fuse cards and
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
get like a random custom card. Like I call it custom, but that's kind of like how
Custom.
it's
I
felt.
like the idea of custom.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it for that part of the question. There's a second part of the question, and it's what are your opinions of Crow being a signer?
He
Cool,
wasn't
man.
supposed to be initially, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he got written in as I believe.
Still
Yeah,
has some
Dark
results for
side
that.
reading.
Slifer's right. I mean, I could rant on this for 20 minutes.
Go
Do
for
it.
it.
Do it.
Go
You
for
do
it.
it. You do it.
All
Oh
you
my God. Listen,
Dude, boy.
it's kind of a running joke in my community that people think I hate Crow. So I want to preface this rant by saying I do not hate Crow. I don't hate Crow, but I hate looking back on
Catholic.
5Ds and looking back at the decision to make Crow a signer. Also, great question, Christy. So my opinion on it is just not good. I think it took a lot of screen time away from Leo, who was originally supposed to be that fifth signer. I mean, think about it. 5Ds, you have your 5 signer dragons. That's what 5Ds means. And yet there were 6 signer dragons at the end of the show. So like that in itself, just I mean, no one doubts that Crow is kind of shoehorned in as a signer last minute. The main theory being that Black Wings were just so popular in the card game. Although I don't think that's been ever confirmed, but that's just kind of the generic belief around that.
The writing on the
So
wall.
yeah, the writing
Yeah.
exactly. So
5Ds
Crow.
is a lot of those fan theories that kind of swirl around.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing with theories in the community. I mean, I've seen it I'm sure a lot of us have for a long time. Someone says a theory that seems like it makes sense, and then people just start kind of believing it to be verbatim. that that's like been confirmed, even though a
Yep.
lot of them aren't. But that definitely could have been the case. And so Crow being a signer not only hurts Leo, who I would have deserved to be. I mean, in the second ending cross game, we see the 5 signer dragons, and Crow's signer dragon is not there. Crow was originally supposed to be on the Dark Signers team, and Leo was supposed to have that rematch against Bomber in the Dark Signers
Yeah.
arc. Because remember, he dueled him in the original tournament back in like the episode like 16 or 17. That was supposed to be Leo's big moment coming out as a signer. Instead, we have to wait until the Aporia duel with like 10 episodes left in the show. So that really hurt
Yeah.
Leo's character,
Like
and
cram.
more
Yeah.
more so than Leo's character, it killed Aki's character. Aki was supposed to be that third character in the trio with Jack and Yusei when they did all of the season 3 and season 4 WRGP tournaments.
I never
And
thought
instead
about
of
that.
having Aki there, Aki becomes a bench warmer. That's literally what they called her in the final opening, or the final
Yes,
ending,
yes, they do.
which is just like a huge middle finger. And so she becomes a bench warmer, and Crow becomes the guy. And not only does
Dude.
it affect the rest of 5Ds, but think about this, it also affects Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. I'm convinced
Yes.
that if Crow never becomes a signer, then Aki actually appears in Arc 5. You wouldn't get Alexis in Arc 5 because, with Yu-Gi-Oh! One legacy girl would be enough for them, even though that's not
Yeah.
a great way of thinking. That's just how, Studio Gallop Yu-Gi-Ohs were. And so you get another GX character that maybe could do more to the plot than what Alexis did, who won against generic no names and then, got smacked by Yuri. So I think it not only affected 5Ds, that decision, in a negative way that took good time away from people, including Akiza, that I just liked a lot more. But I think it also affected what ended up happening in Arc 5. And, Crow then goes on to beat Shun, who I love in Arc 5, which I didn't really like that decision because,
No, that made me salty.
yeah, let your characters that are originally in Arc 5 shine, So, I think it was a very detrimental decision. I know there's a lot of people who love Crow. So again, I don't hate Crow, but I do hate this decision. So
Really
that's
quick.
my little rant on it.
Yeah, I like that. I think Crow's plot points were not as strong as Aki's, so I think that a lot of the fact that he replaced her in a lot of situations kind of sucked because her character was really strong, but it was kind of missing that oomph that she would have
Yeah.
gotten if she was the third, main
she had
turbo
that
duelist
extra
Agreed.
on the
part,
team.
Yeah.
If she was in more post 5Ds stuff, like you were saying. So yeah, I actually never thought about the overarching effects that Crow being pushed into the spotlight had.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think
Dylan
about
and
that
Kamel
either.
definitely put that a lot more eloquently than I ever could. I hate Crow. I think he is an awful character. I think Crow exists just to take the spotlight away from cooler characters, and I cannot stand anything about him. I hate Blackwings, and I think that it would be better if he just never existed.
I have my own.
Black Wings was such a good deck, though. No.
Hey, you know what's
need
cool?
him. We need him. We
What were you
need
saying,
him there
Kay?
just for that. We just need him there just so Black Wings can exist. That's it.
Zephyros can stay.
Yeah. We can keep Zephyros. You can
Yeah, the rest-
splash
the
him into
rest can
most
go.
anything.
I only have my own opinions and thoughts on Crow as a signer. Like I agree with Dylan that Leo should have been the 5th one, and just Crow being shoehorned in there was not really, I think, the best decision in my opinion. I think it was mainly because of the Blackwings selling so much that they decided to move him, of course.
Again, though,
notch
that's just
instead of, like,
speculation, right? Because that's like things that we've been hearing for like years and years.
Not
but
really,
we really
but
don't
didn't
know.
Blackwings like
Well,
sell
they-
way too much, like a whole lot during the whole entire run of 5Ds? They're still
See,
pretty like pricey.
Bla-
and
The
nothing like
thing
that.
is about this kind of information is that Japanese companies, particularly Konami, are so notoriously hush hush about these sorts of
Mhm.
numbers. So it's
Ah,
really hard to get that sort of information to confirm it. Like
That's very
I've been
true, you're right
talking
about
to
that.
like a million resources, as I've wanted forever to do a video about like 5D's like fan theories and how they're not always going to be like true and how they've been like held at as gospel for years. I've been talking to a bunch of resources who are super close with like anime scene and have been following it for like decades. And like legit, one of them just told me like, I don't know. Because like there's so little information about there because so little of it is
Yeah.
released.
You're right. You're
Well,
right.
when they write the series, I mean, like, at what point did they decide Crow was going to be a signer versus Dark Signer, and was it before or after Black Wings came out? I guess is the biggest
It's
question.
hard. It's hard to know.
Exactly.
and then-
That's
but
what
then-
I'm saying.
If Crow was written as a Dark Signer, like he would have been redeemed at the end, and then he would have ended up much like Kiryu, where he's just kind of gone and just off to do his own thing. But since he was kept in the show, like would he still have been like the orphan guy? You know, because he's like his whole thing was like he was nice and orphan.
There's
kids and-
so much wasted potential there, man.
with just
Crow.
Crow. And yeah, I didn't think about, like Kamel said and like Dylan said, I didn't think about
Yeah.
like the next series after that and how Crow being in that spot affected the series after too.
Dude, oh my
That's
god,
so
those,
crazy.
those orphans he has in Arc 5 are so annoying. Whatever. I don't like anything about Crow, dude.
That's a major like thing that they keep trying to sell us on his character. And oh, great! I just thought of it.
Wow, Crow's
Crow-
really nice and cool.
Just thought it, right?
That's a
Crow
reference,
really
isn't it?
fit really well into the end of the Dark Signer arc, where they were kind of introducing the kids in the slums, and Crow, he's always stuck up for them and everything. And I think, and that's something that they brought up again at Arc 5, like you said, and it was kind of like something that they could keep talking about, I guess.
That's the only thing to talk about.
Yeah, but like, do I want to keep focusing on this? Do I want to see this one thing over and over and over
Right,
again?
definitely not.
I talked about this on Twitter one time, but I think the perfect snapshot of Crow as a character is during the Nordic gods duels. I don't remember the team name.
He duels Rotor on Team Ragnarok, I think.
Team Ragnarok. Thank you, Team
Ragnarok,
Ragnarok. Yes.
sorry.
So it was during that duel. They had the guy that was playing Odin, and the guy playing Odin was like, "I'm the trickster of Team Ragnarok because I play the trickster god." And Crow, who at that point, mind you, had never once in the series been referred to as trickster in any way, shape, or form, started saying, "Yeah, I'm Team 5D's trickster." And then everybody was like, "Yeah, that's the trickster. Yeah, that's the trickster. He's cool. Like the trickster." And everybody just caught on to it, and it just became his nickname. I think it even says it under his like name in one of the endings in season 5 or openings, whichever. And I was just like, "What? Why are we pushing this?"
They just rolled with it, like,
Yeah, no,
okay,
yeah.
cool, we're good with that.
He even has a line in Duel Links where he's like, "I'm the trickster," and it's like, "What?"
No, you're not.
They wrote that down on the script, and then they like heard like
They're
them
like,
saying
"Dude,
it,
this is the one."
and they were like, "Hey, wait, that sounded pretty good."
That's pretty good.
Say it again.
Yeah, Crow the trickster. Oh my gosh.
Crow the trickster, good God.
I just think Crow's. I'm not going to be. You guys are too uncontroversial about this. I hate Crow. Come at me.
Question. Isn't the trickster brave?
Yes.
Knew it. Wait, are you sure it was the Odin card or was
No,
it the
it's Loki.
card?
It was Loki.
Oh,
Yeah,
Loki.
Loki
Excuse me,
plays
Loki.
the
I get
god.
my mythology mixed up.
Norse. No,
You
I'm
can
just
complain
like
about to
Marvel.
me on Twitter
I'm
about
in the
that.
Nordic circle too, so I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But-
Thank God.
Odin's with the fur off. Odin's with the fur off.
To get back on track, we do have a donation from Shiro, the sponsor. He says, one word, sleeves. Seriously, are those anime cards made out of metal or something? Probably in reference to, like blocking guns and stuff like that.
Oh,
Slam that on the dual disc.
being able to do that.
Just the fact that they stay on the dual
I'm
disc.
sorry. I watched the 4Kids version. There are no guns.
Yeah, you just point,
pointed,
right?
There's
You
a
just
lot
point.
of pointed fingers in that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pointed fingers.
How did they censor that in the anime when Kaiba threw the card? You just threw out his finger?
Yeah, his fingers came off.
And then his hand was on the ground.
He ripped his finger off and threw it.
He
I have
just-
no idea,
like, He
dude.
just threw it like a shuriken and just like I don't remember the rest of it. I think they kind of censored that part. Didn't they?
They
censor
censored out
part?
that scene like where he like they come in and then he like blocks a bullet with his briefcase or whatever's
Yeah.
in his briefcase, and then he jumps out the building.
Which is cool, by the way.
That part of that was censored.
Very
but
cool.
It's more the fact that it's like what's the one where the bodyguard on Duelist Kingdom Island was that censored too? Because I feel like it was because I don't remember seeing that scene in the dub.
Where he gets eaten by a man-eater bug.
When it's
No.
when
This
it's-
was like
when
when
he
he
had the
was
guy's head
tailing
in the
Kaiba.
briefcase.
This one
Oh.
bodyguard was tailing Kaiba on the. He knew that Pegasus told him that he was going to be on the island, and he appeared. And then, all of a sudden, like in the manga or like in the original, that wasn't like that was localized. He threw Megumi Megami card, and then that blocked the gun's hammer. But I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing that in the dub.
Probably wasn't in there. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
I'm
probably
trying to
wasn't.
think of like
Sounds
how
familiar
you could.
if it was done,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of how you could censor that because the
Well, the thing is,
Exactly.
censor.
I
yeah,
think they took that scene
the thing
out.
is, right?
Yeah,
In the
It was the
original anime,
Megami
like you're
card that
saying,
is like, you know what I mean. But yeah, that was something that I remember because that was in the manga. That was in the original because I started watching the original like with all the subs when Crunchyroll was starting putting up on its actual site. But I didn't see that scene in the dub, so I was just thinking, "Huh, that's kind of strange." But
Worth noting
you
that
know,
scene is like awesome in the
it's
manga.
definitely a
Like,
goated scene in like
no, it's
Yu-Gi-Oh
goated for
history.
sure.
Yeah, as far as like
mhm,
from 0 to
yeah,
7, like that's one of the scenes that people
yeah,
remember.
that was a strong scene in my opinion.
I think Gilly wants to say something for a question.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
so this is a question now for Dylan. So Dylan, we all know that you made that one video about a deck from each Yu-Gi-Oh anime that needs to be printed, and we do know your top one, which happened to be Sun Avalon. One, how excited were you when you heard that Sun Avalon was coming to the TCG, and also, um, if you were to pick another deck that wasn't listed on your video, if applicable, what would it be?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I did that video I think about a year ago. So I was very, very happy when Sun Avalons came. It was kind of crazy to me how many Vrains decks there were that were not printed. Although that kind of happens with every anime, but I just felt like there was more Vrains decks than not. Especially considering how many Vrains decks were like meta in the actual game, which is pretty rare. Emma's deck was meta. Goki's at one point. Revolvers, or was Revolvers? I'm not sure if Boar was meta.
Dragon Link, I guess you can consider it.
Dragon Link, yeah, with yeah. And then there was Trickstars as well. So it's really crazy how many meta decks there were in Vrains. But I was very excited to see Sun Avalons printed. Sunvine Thrasher, I love that card.
Oh, me too, dude.
Yeah, it's a sick card. And the next deck that I'd love to see printed from Vrains, probably Legia Armados, probably Lightning's deck. That's probably the
Yeah.
next one. We have that. I know we have Hydra Drive, and I think we have Wendy's deck, Storm Riders, I think is the name.
When
So
Lightning Overdrive was first released, I was like conspiracy theorying with like the lightning, and I'm like, oh, they're doing anime stuff, so maybe we're gonna get like Lightning's deck or Light's deck. Oh man, I really wanted that deck so bad. I love it. I love light
yeah,
decks.
no, it was a good theory there. But yeah, what
Mhm.
about you, Gilly? Anime related, anime
Oh,
exclusive.
okay. So for me, it was definitely Sun Avalon. I was just like so hyped when that
Yeah,
like got announced. I was like,
awesome
it's
news.
finally coming. I get to play like a character themed deck. I really loved Spectre as a character. He kind of just made his own rules, and he was like, yeah, no, I believe in this cause. I think it's pretty cool. I'm on their side, and they respect me, kind of deal. Probably the armor though, the armor archetype. If I were to like, I honestly, when like these decks started coming out, I was like, maybe Konami was watching Dylan's videos and was like, bro, this is free. Just
What
print it.
if?
It prints
What
money.
if?
Just make it happen. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I don't know about that, but
Battle
You never
Drone
know.
is
You
another
never know.
Vrains archetype that is not printed. I don't believe, right?
yeah, the drones aren't
yes,
printed,
Blood
but I mean,
Shepherd's
like,
drones. Yes,
they can make it happen.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're finally getting a Black Rose Dragon upgrade and Blood Rose Dragon, which I've wanted since 5Ds ended. So I was very happy about that as well.
Speaking of
I
the
love the hard
anime
mode too.
exclusive decks, I do want to remind everybody that we did have that poll way back when with Sun Avalon was included along with Jim Crocodile's Fossil archetype, and there were like a couple of other archetypes in the poll that could come to TCG down the road. Some of them were Wicked God, Drone, Doll, Thorn Prisoner, Ninja, Abyss, Shaman, Guts Master, Debugger, and Wheel cards. A lot of those aren't really like fan favorites, but do any of those strike anybody's fancy?
Ninja.
Wicked God kind of did for me. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know why because these cards are like hilariously terrible, but I wish they I wish they were better. So That
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
from
that kind
that's
of
from
got me.
Yu-Gi-Oh! R, right, Token? That's from Yu-Gi-Oh! R, the Wicked Gods.
Yeah, I'm looking at the set right now, and they have the Avatar, the Dreadroot, and then the Eraser, and I think that's it. I don't think they have anything else as far as like cards that are coming out.
Hey, shout outs to Shiro in the chat for saying, "Where's my food deck?" Because same. I want to play the food
yeah.
archetype so badly
Is
because
that Arc V?
yes, it was. It was the little Michi dude that all the moms loved. He played food, and it was
Oh.
hilarious.
Okay.
Fun fact: we got the tomato cards from Zexel in Duel Links first.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what? Those are in Duel Links?
Yep.
Yeah, it's in dueling.
The tomato cards.
There's like
Hold
3
on.
of them in Duel Links.
Yeah, there's like a duelist
Yeah.
in Zale who like uses tomatoes. It's whack.
But we
That-
got him
you know
in Duel
what?
Links.
He's voiced by Dan Green too. So it's
Oh
funny.
really?
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it's
dude, he
funny.
kind of
Tomato
does.
If I recall correctly, the character's name was it was vegetable. His name literally meant vegetable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like Saya or something like that.
It was like Holsai or something like that, or it was something like that. It was like
Dude,
forget
Zale
this.
had a bunch of weird anime archetypes that were just like, when this
Combo
card summons,
Hillbilly.
bring out
Killer.
another level 4.
Are you talking? Wait, I heard Billy. Are you talking about the construction archetype that was there? That was like the episode before. It was the episode. 2 episodes before the Anadule.
There's a lot going on in your mind right now.
I'm trying to remember every single one because I remember the soccer one was episode 27. I think we got a couple of those cards.
I forgot about the soccer one.
Links. Construction one was the episode after. Vegetable one was after that, so that was like episode 29 or 30. Because I know that Anadule was there too. One of those 2 is the Anadule.
Was the construction dude Infinitrack?
I don't think Infinitrack was a anime deck.
Shelby was something else. Shelby's deck was something else. It was oh my god. It was I was just watching with some people and I'm just like, oh god. It was I think it's similar to Anna's train deck, but
Yeah,
I
they were
just don't
similar
know-
to trains, just dumber.
Yeah. I don't remember the names. I was like Delta Core or something like that. That's Anna's deck. Whoops. That's something else. I just know there's a lot of them, and I know there's the camera deck. The camera deck, and then the gambling dice deck was there too.
Well, cameras a bit what is that one of those got printed, huh? The
yeah, that was
Xyz
the
monster.
Xyz.
Yeah,
Those
the Xyz
Xyz.
monster
That
got
was
printed.
that was Force Focus.
Force something. Yeah, Force Focus. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's
I was
number
gonna say
25.
Big Eye, but that's not Big
No,
Eye.
Big
Is
Eye was
the
number 11. That was
yeah, it's fortune teller,
episodes
dude.
17, 18. Yeah, that was Jin the fortune teller.
Yes.
Which we don't have the shaman deck. We don't have that.
Wait, is Ninjas
No.
really not printed?
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot of not printed decks from Zen.
John Claude's ninjas aren't, but we have
Yeah,
ninjas at the archetype.
We have it's not. Yeah.
Only Yamikawa has a few cards that are printed, but not all of them are printed.
I thought you were going to say Yami
we got-
Ruler. That's like a hype.
We've got Ninja. We got the Bladeheart Ninja XC's card. That was one of them. There was also Crimson Shadow, which is that number 12 or is that number 22? I forget which one. It's one of those 2.
I just got to say, I respect that you remember the numbers because I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The numbers of the episodes, dude. I can't remember.
No, yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
JoJo episodes.
That's
but,
crazy.
Oh god, what else was there? There was a bunch of other cards. I know there's some like manga cards that never got printed, like the puppet chess set from like the R manga that never got printed. Really, that would have been pretty neat though, in my opinion.
I do want to get back on the tracks
Sorry.
for some of these. No, it's fine. We're still on some viewer questions, and it's already been an hour. This is pretty nuts. So this is gonna be a lengthy episode, but I do want to get through a bulk of it before people do have to start rolling out. But the next question is from @Alexis78901. We love Alexis. Thank you for asking this question. It is, what continues to amaze you with every new season of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime? And for me, I'm going to say it is like character development or like characters in general. I love how there's always like that rival like Kaiba, Zane, Chaz, or every character like Reggie, all that stuff. So that's one of the things I like. What about you guys?
I
I'm gonna
personally like character development too. Like character development is one of the things that I really gravitate towards. So like watching Jaden's character development from when I was a kid and watching the character development from Yusei in 5Ds, like that is amazing. And the way that they continue to do everything after that for Arc V, Brains, Sevens, and Zale, I think that there's character development there too, but it's marketed to those three or those four are marketed to a different group of people than Yu-Gi-Oh, original Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, and 5Ds were. But I still like and can appreciate the character development of the last three as well, as far as like main character and side characters as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say again, character development is something that they continue to push the envelope with, and I think go above and
Yeah.
beyond every single time. With an
Mhm.
anime like Yu-Gi-Oh, where the premise always stays the same, the characters is really where things come to shine and make the anime unique. And
Yeah.
you made a very good point on the last three series, Zael, Arc V, and Vrains. I think those series are really towards like, developing the characters and making them seem like, regular people with like,
Yeah.
really hard like struggles or backstories. So you know how they got to where they are. People who deal with problems, emotions, things like that, and overcome them. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely say how they keep continually making character development great. Now, see, I haven't watched Seven, so I can't speak for the character development there. So I hope Dylan can shed some light. But yeah, that's my answer.
Speaking of Dylan, I'm gonna go with Dylan next, and for every other question, let's reference the Discord chat from top to bottom, and that should probably get us through everybody without forgetting anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Great answers so far by the two of you. I completely agree. Character development is great, and I'm not gonna actually touch on sevens, even though Kamel, you transitioned perfectly into
Damn
it.
it.
But what I wanna touch on, something that amazes me with every new season of the anime is how good the rival character is in every single show.
Mhm.
That is the
Mhm.
one character that I feel like they just have maybe in GX, but outside of GX, that is the one rival character that they have never messed up with. Seto Kaiba, fantastic. Jack Atlas, Kaido or Shark, whoever you want to consider,
Yeah.
pick either one. Akaba Reiji and Revolver. I mean, they're all such, in my opinion, excellent written characters. And that's something that has amazed me. I mean, with sevens, it's kind of weird. We don't really know who the rival is. We think it's Roa, but we're not really sure. So I'm kind of excluding sevens from this, but the rival character being so well written in every single Yu-Gi-Oh, that has always amazed me.
It's a good point. It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Um, Gilly.
Yeah, I mean, to touch really base on that, not to like piggyback too hard on it, but I really do enjoy the rival characters in anime. That's actually my favorite character that I really resonate with, just because I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to hate them, and if they're doing that, I like it so much. It's so good. So I always like try to pick out like the quirks, and then they end up becoming best friends, maybe. At least that's what just from what I remember. You love to hate them, but they always win you over. So of course, just uh like in anime to like kind of backstep, my personal favorite character in like Dragon Ball Z is like Vegeta, and like just because like he's always like the underdog. I always like the character that always has that uphill battle, and I'm always like, oh, let's root for them kind of thing. So yeah, and the underdog characters too. I think they're all like great. I always like to cheer for who I think might be losing, and things like that.
Did we go over yours, Kamel? Yeah, we
Yeah, I
did.
think I wanted to talk.
All right. Okay.
I think I think what it is that I'm amazed by is usually like the foils. Like every character has their own flaws, and that can be transformed to a different kind of person. I think that's pretty interesting how they change that up every
Mhm.
single time. it doesn't always have to be rivals. It can just be like a flaw that a character has. Someone else is very good with utilizing.
All right, it's pretty cool.
I think that's very neat. But that's just me.
No, no worries. Token.
Yeah, mine was character development.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't want to say character development too many times.
That's fine. No worries. Noah, did you do yours?
I did not.
Okay.
My favorite is always duels. I think the anime duels are always a lot of fun, so much so that I made a series about them. I mean, that's how they get their stories and narratives across 99.9% of the time, since it is an anime about card games, and it always works out really, 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 really well most of the time. Sometimes duels are boring. Sometimes they're like, Sora versus Shun, but for the most part, duels are usually just at their worst, they're at least entertaining. So for me, it's that.
And then Slifer.
I can't really speak to individual seasons, but I just kind of look at it from season or series as a whole. But I look at it more from kind of the animation side, the quality side, just how they've kind of evolved throughout the series and as they went on. Like I think 5Ds was probably the first one to start toying with like 3D animation and models. I could be wrong. And they tried to push that with Bonds Beyond Time. But I don't know if you guys noticed, like in an episode preview for the next episode, if you notice like the quality of the animation looked really nice, or if it was by like Kenichi Hara or Takahiro Kagami, you know it was going to be a good, important episode like next week.
Thank you for name dropping Kenichi Hara, by the way.
Yeah. So like no, but Hara, I think he started with original Duel Monsters, then did a few in GX, and then a few more 5Ds. But I think really shined in Arc 5 onwards. I think he did stuff in Reigns, right? Like I noticed I was watching. I think it was a Soul Burner and a Spectre episode that was done by him, and I was just like, it was just such a visual treat to
I
watch that.
believe so. I believe he also did a lot of Zale work, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but
He did
just
some, yeah.
kind of that.
Well, I think No Gilbo was also around Zale, wasn't he?
No
I think so,
Gilbo,
yeah.
Hidekazu
5Ds.
Ibina.
He was on 5Ds as well, I think.
Yeah, no, he
Ibina
definitely was in
also-
5Ds.
Ibina was in Zale in Arc 5. That's what I remember. He dropped off the face and went to do other anime, from what I remember. Yeah.
Well, a lot
So,
of I think at this point, a lot of Gallop stuff has just turned into
Yeah.
Toei, right?
There's a lot of very notable animators that you can easily tell from the style of a certain episode.
No, for
and
sure.
I think that's
yeah.
very neat.
I
I
agree.
agree with that idea.
Yeah, but that's like while it is a positive, it can also be a negative because so you could tell when production was rushed and stuff. But I haven't been able to watch Sevens, but I heard that because Sevens is now a new studio, they're kind of a little more cohesive and what do you call it, like better continuity for style wise. But yeah, so I mean, I think that was fun. That was kind of a fun thing to watch, like these animators evolve and how they animate Yu-Gi-Oh. Like Zexel, like would always do kind of when he did a draw, it was like that double take. So like I don't know what.
Yeah, no, the animation. There's a lot of animation in Zale that's really great, but then there's some of it that the anime that goes for anything, right? Like it's a weekly anime. Like you're always gonna get stinkers, but when you get really good ones, it's like, oh man, it just
It's
hits.
just out of the park. Yeah. There's a lot of like great animation studios, and I'm thinking that maybe Bridge, which is doing Sevens right now, will slowly grow and grow to a higher level and higher degree.
I'd
Well,
like it.
I'm still hoping like this year being the 25th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm hoping they do something special, like maybe an OVA series of either Egypt arc or quote unquote season 0, because it's like I think it would be interesting if you did a Yu-Gi-Oh series, but cap it at like 2 seasons and just have the best quality animation and see where you go with that. And it'd be really interesting if they did it like pre-Duel Monsters cards or those kind of things, just to see what they can do with that when they're not like under pressure to get these episodes out every week and they don't have to like plug the latest card by Konami.
Yu-Gi-Oh would never. They would never
I know, but like
reboot
That-
Duel Monsters for nostalgia. What are you talking about?
No, don't hurt me with nostalgia there. But yeah, I think the OVA thing would be really cool if that actually does become like manifested into reality. That would be really cool.
So the second part of Alexis's question was opinions on how the anime can lose or gain fans depending on the constant changes in themes. So like probably age differences or like the dark tone or the happy tone of an anime being too like
Female
kid
protag.
friendly or being too like dark.
Female protag. Come on.
We'll start with Dylan.
Come on. Female
Yeah.
protag. Come on.
Oh yeah, girl lead is what I've wanted from Yu-Gi-Oh since probably Zexal ended. Honestly, that's always going to be my number one.
100%, dude. Yeah.
It's a great question actually, Alexis, and I think that's the one thing that I absolutely love with Yu-Gi-Oh. I've seen two almost like cataclysms in the Yu-Gi-Oh community where the community just, I don't want to say blew up, but like it was like very crazy for a while, and that's when Zexal was announced and 5Ds changed to Zexal, and when Sevens was announced. I mean, it was almost like deja vu at Jump Festa in 2019 when I was live and Sevens got announced, and obviously the art style was way different than anyone could have imagined because no one had any idea that it was going to be changing studios. Although looking back at Vrains and what Gallup, the recap episodes, a lot of people forget Vrains had 4 recap episodes between 13 and 38. Like that's not normal. Like they were clearly treading water for a pretty long time, and so there were a couple people that thought maybe it would go to a new studio, but the fact that it did really shocked a lot of people. But I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, that's what makes this franchise special. I think every show has its unique quirks because there's a different protagonist. I look at something like Pokemon, and Ash is always the main character, and I feel like sure he's going to grow, and I know the cast around him changes and his team changes, but it's always Ash. And I think having that one character has its pros and cons. But I personally love Yu-Gi-Oh for the exploration of all these different characters and different universes. And as people are going to drop off through every transfer of a show, I remember there were a lot of Arc 5 fans who wanted nothing to do with Vrains when it got announced. There were a lot of, Zexal fans that wanted nothing to do with Arc 5. There's a lot of Vrains fans that wanted nothing to do with Sevens. New fans will always come in and kind of replace those fans that leave. That's just how fandoms work. And there's a lot of people that watched Vrains for the first time that never even saw Zexal or Arc 5. They were like, yeah, I haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh since 5Ds, but Vrains looked really interesting. There's a lot of people that are watching Sevens that haven't been in the Yu-Gi-Oh community for a decade. They haven't watched since 5Ds or Zexal. So the community is always going to shed itself. It's going to shed its skin. And I've been making, weekly content on the animes now for 5-6 years. So I've even seen it. People that were very around in the early days of my channel, I haven't heard from in 4 years. And some of the most active people in my community, I didn't even know they existed a year ago. So that's just how fandom works. And I think that's what makes Yu-Gi-Oh special, that there's always something for everyone. And that's it's the spice of life, I suppose. So I love it.
Awesome. Gilly?
Yeah, so I was so excited for this question. I can be very long-winded, but I'll try to actually keep it brief so everybody has an opportunity to speak. So one, yeah, I think it would be really cool for a female protag, like an actual main female protag, but I won't speak on that too much because I think Slifer wants to speak on that maybe more. So another thing that I would like to see is more characters that are way more relatable to a variety of age ranges of other like players. We need a character that appeals to like children because it is technically a children's card game, but we also need that professional player. So then that way we always like root for him and like, oh, we know he's the strongest, and maybe even quite like, maybe that character can break the plot armor of the main character. It'd be kind of cool to see that, somebody who knows like the meta and the inside of their game, right? Or another thing I thought about, it might make people mad, but what if they were to go back and like, I'm not saying like start over from the beginning, but like let's modernize. Like what happens after like I know there's a whole timeline of this game, but what if they were to go back to the original cast and just kind of show how Yu-Gi-Oh would be season 1 in the current format, or like a super competitive format. I would personally love that too, what they're doing with the manga. I think they're doing great things with that manga, but it's an anime episode, so we're going to keep it on the anime, but that's just kind of what I have to say.
Awesome. Kamel?
I actually didn't have a great answer for this question. What was it again? Like
Uh,
specifically?
More so like what do you feel about the like changes in like the seasons as they go, like the age differences or like from light to dark tones in anime, how it's like one season it's like let's all go to Duel Academy and the next one the universe is ending, we have to get the other Yuhas or something like that.
Yeah, I think I think that Yu-Gi-Oh being like that kind of is helps it, right? Because it is a show where you do not have to watch every series in succession from beginning to end. So it kind of helps it that at the same time that it's something like, oh, I like the tone this season, so I'm gonna indulge myself in it. The protagonist is someone I can relate to, so I'm gonna, get in there. How I was thinking about this was like plot wise, like where you guys got lost, like or like where you were watching the show and you were like, oh, that's it.
Hmm.
But if that comes up, I'll have an answer. But yeah, I just think the show is doing what it needs to do to bring in new fans and keep the old ones around until something comes around that they like.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
On the transition from different series to the audience, that's going to be a difficult question
No, yeah, no
to
worries.
answer.
If you don't want to
Yeah,
answer, you don't have to.
no, it's kind of hard to tell because it's kind of hard to like jump back on if you like fall off a series due to personal reasons. It doesn't have to be the show itself. It can just be like life that gets in the way. Hopefully they'll come back. Hopefully, they'll continue. That's all I could think of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm not really insightful when it comes to this kind of thing.
It's like a loaded question by Alexa. She's too big brain, but
Yeah,
that's
Alexa's
fine.
too big brain. You love you, Alexis.
Token?
I think that kind of like Dylan said, like there's always going to be fans that are going to leave, and there's always going to be fans that are going to, when they see something, it's the first time they see it, so they're going to catch interest in it. And I think the anime always changing kind of follows the TCG in a way where, I've been playing the game since the beginning, so there's a subset of people that play GOAT format and they like GOAT format. Those are the same people that like season one. But when you introduce new things, there's always going to be people that leave. So when you introduce synchros, when you introduce exceed monsters, pendulum, like especially pendulum, there was a lot of people that left, but like with links format they would come back. So Yu-Gi-Oh being like the same, it's always going to be Yu-Gi-Oh, but changing that, changing the main character, changing the flaws that they have, changing the way that people interact with them, is always going to have, you know, it's always going to have its differences. And I think that the first three are, like I said earlier, the first three and the second four are marketed to a different group of people, but they have everything after 5Ds. They have those elements that the people that grew up watching GX, watching 5Ds, watching the OG can appreciate. Um, so they have ways that they keep those fans, but definitely like there's other aspects as far as like age, who it's being marketed to, that are going to cause some people to go away from it. But there's always going to be fans to refill.
Nice. All right. No?
Jolene Cujo.
Huh?
Give me the female protag.
Oh, okay. So you and you and Slifer can kind of tag team this one, I guess, right?
Yeah, man, I'm down for that. I mean, I think it's been a long time coming. I mean, understandably, it is a show marketed towards young boys, I should say, in Japan. So I get it. Still want it.
I mean, yeah, like I think everybody wants the female protagonist, right? I mean, I don't mind a female lead with a female rival and whatnot if you just make it more female focused and, make the male sidekick. Just switch it up for once, right?
Here's the problem: Yu-Gi-Oh sucks at writing girls.
Yeah, fair
Real
enough.
bad.
That's
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
depends on the writer. That
I would
depends on the
almost
writer.
yeah. It's,
So-
it's I like go
So
ahead.
far, only ones that I know of that have really good writing so far is Sevens. Right, Dill?
Yeah,
Am I-
I gotta be so I completely agree. Yu-Gi-Oh and girls, horrible combination, unfortunately. With the Studio Gallop anime, so obviously Duel Monsters through Vrains. And you have, a couple of girls here that stand out, like an Aki or an Aoi, that people usually focus. Well, Aoi, maybe not Aoi, but Aki usually.
Yeah, let's forget about that.
Yeah, let me reverse that. But I gotta be honest, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens has probably about, in terms of quantity and quality, probably like 6 or 7 girl characters that actually have wins in duels. Two of them, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but like I gotta be honest, the girls in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens by far have turned a corner for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Not, I'm not saying that they're otherworldly compared to other shonen. I feel like they're probably pretty standard for most shonen, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so below the bar when it came to girls in their shows that Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens has, in my opinion, completely blown the first 6 out of the water in that. So as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan today, I am most confident that we have a chance to get a girl protagonist ever being a fan
Mhm.
of the show. That being said, I still don't think there's a great chance. Noah brought up, it's a show targeted to younger males in Japan, and that's just what a shonen is.
And that's the demographic end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
part of the
You
that's
gotta
part of
go
the
to the
demographic, but
demographic.
not to mention more girls have been getting into Yu-Gi-Oh overseas too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Girls
like,
Gotta
don't
love to
play
see
card
it.
games. What are you
you
talking
say
about?
Gotta
that.
love to see it.
You say that.
There's a Princess Cup series in Japan where it's supposed
I
to be
love
female
that
only duelists.
exists
So
Usually
too.
yeah,
is.
Oh
That's
my
cute.
I don't
gosh.
know how practical that is.
There's
If
a
trying to
wait,
bring
so
it to
there's a
Western, but they're trying. So
They're
so the
expanding
Princess
the
Cup
there.
is just all females, like only females can enter this tournament.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Oh
it's
wow,
kind of
that's
like on a
cool.
local level,
Yeah,
if I'm
they're
not
trying to
mistaken.
expand it, and I think it's really neat.
Yeah, that's really smart actually.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think it's
It
been
is
on
very
hold
smart.
due to COVID, but I mean, like when I was watching or when I would see tournament results and they were playing like meta, dude, they were at the time they were playing like Orchist and Altergeist and just whatever, OCG kind of meta it was at the moment.
I think
Yeah, it's definitely
fellow
to see.
fellow podcast member Tracy started like a Princess Cup-esque tournament in the TCG, and a lot of people entered. So all female or people who identified as female could enter.
Girl power.
Yeah.
Girl power.
Yeah, that's really neat.
I gotta be honest. I've been obviously pretty heavy in especially the anime side of things for a decade, and content creation now for 5 or 6 years. But what I've seen in the last year, even here in the West, with like the surge of girls, kind of speaking up about their struggles in the spaces of the Yu-Gi-Oh, and becoming more vocal about things and seeing the community. There's still obviously a lot of room for the community to grow in that regard, but it's been very, very great. And there's actually a lot of people on this podcast that I've done a really amazing job of pushing the issue and I guess the fight for equality within the community, or even just, basic respect. That there's a lot of players, I would say more so probably in the TCG spaces, that don't give to girl players. So even just seeing that has been really, really inspiring. And I think the direction that the franchise is headed from an anime perspective, and even the TCG and OCG, in terms of a more balanced, girl guy pool. I mean, obviously, guys are going to dominate a card space. That's just the
Yeah,
demographic
that's
there.
just what
But
it is.
yeah, absolutely. But seeing more like, a stronger push for, respect, mutual respect and equality has been really, really good. So I'm very excited to see where the community goes anime wise and just, TCG space wise in the next few years.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of changes will be made. Hopefully for the better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's get to the last viewer question, and then we're gonna have some preset questions and stuff like that we had planned prior to this. We had a lot of questions. The last one is
Lightning
from
round.
fellow podcast member TCG Tally. Why is Arc V so criminally underrated? So we'll start with Dylan.
You're starting with the
That's
guy
a
who's
strong
criminally
Good
question.
underrated, too.
Well, listen, TCG Tally, I think he's actually in the chat. How you doing, man? Great question. So I actually don't necessarily think Arc 5 is that underrated. I think Arc 5 was a very ambitious Yu-Gi-Oh. I always say that. I think it's the most ambitious Yu-Gi-Oh we've ever gotten. They seeing all the decks, all the summoning types brought together, seeing all the dimensions, seeing all the legacy characters. That being said, though, I'm pretty critical on the ending of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And so I don't necessarily think it's underrated. I mean, I think you could make an argument that maybe all the spin-offs are underrated in comparison to Duel Monsters, but yeah, I'm probably not the best one to answer this. Arc 5 was very fun for the first 50, 60 episodes. Synchro Arc was okay. And then the last 40 or 30 episodes, mainly when they got to Battle Beast, was just it didn't really do it for me. So I'm probably not the best to agree or answer that question. But everyone has their own opinions, and that's completely fine.
Yep.
Awesome. Gilly?
Yeah, I think maybe it was just way too ambitious. I think it started off really strong, but it probably just didn't stick with a lot of players at the time. I can't really speak too much on it because I I mean I've been kind of going back through the anime like of Arc 5 because a lot of people were like just give it a shot, right? And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll work my way like backwards of watching through all the series. But I mean, y- I guess you love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Camille?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to join in here and saying I, I'm not sold on the fact that RV was underrated. I agree saying it was the most ambitious project Yu-Gi-Oh series, definitely, and I think because of that, there was a lot for people to kind of uh, dislike, or there were a lot of polarizing things in the show. You know, a lot of people probably had their own nitpickings about how they handled the legacy characters that came back. The tone of the show itself and its first arc was kind of weird. It was kind of like Zayal, I felt, and then the ending, of course, was just, or the last arc was very weak. So I definitely feel like it had the things in it for you to, those faults that would cause people to rate it low. But I not to say I didn't enjoy it, but yeah, that's just it. That's what I think about it.
For sure. We got Kay.
Oh, oh boy, this is going to be really. It's more the fact that I've only seen like up to 67 episodes and then watched the rest of it vicariously through everybody else. Um, the first arc for Arc 5 was amazing, but like once it hit like 60-ish episodes, 60, 70 episodes, the writing started to get like kind of like wonky, and then it started doing like a downhill 180 and just came crashing. And I really can't like say that it's overrated or underrated at all. It's just it's there, it's on the fence. I do think it's very ambitious. And it was a really good idea, but it just wasn't really executed all that well. And I think some people I know like that series and adore it like for what it is. And some people just like could not catch up or could not focus on it because of so many different jarring elements, and kind of fell off the wagon for that. I think that's what was going on. I think that's why some people put it lower on the list, comparing it to other Yu-Gi-Oh spin-offs. That's what I think.
Awesome. Token.
Yeah, for me, I'm just gonna keep it really short. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of the flaws that Arc V, well, that's just what it is. The flaws that Arc V had in it resonated with a vast majority of people in the Yu-Gi-Oh space, and out of all of the people that have seen Arc V, and I think those like blaring flaws and underwhelming arcs and getting hit with so many like not very not very entertaining or not very good episodes in a row was enough for people to say, hey, it's enough for people to say you have a reason as to why they don't like it. I personally don't agree that it was underrated, but I think the amount of flaws and the underwhelming arcs is enough for people to not like it. But everybody has their own opinion. That's just mine.
Awesome. No.
Gonna keep it short and sweet. Gonna be honest here. It's not underrated. It's perfectly rated. It's got about 30 stellar episodes and 100 something stinkers. Some of the best duels and some of the best like episodes and highs in the series, and some of the absolute lowest lows. Sora versus Shun is one of the best duels in the series, and everything after episode 50 is boring. And the synchro arc is a masterclass in how not to pace an arc.
Awesome, thank you, Noah. Slifer?
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know my phone's being weird. Anyway, I very much love Yuya as a character, and I really enjoyed that first season. But I think everyone's kind of touched on the point. It's like once you hit that synchro arc, production issues arose because I thought they took away key members of the team to work on Dark Side of Dimensions, and then just kind of everything suffered as a result. And then it was a kind of running joke with my friends, but whenever like the plot goes off the rails, we're just like, "Is this Yoshida? Is this shit Yoshida?"
Dude, you can really tell it has the same director as 5Ds.
But I'm just like, give Shin Yoshida his own original sci-fi series. I feel like it would be amazing, but because they keep drawing on him to try to write plot for Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like we get these very strange arcs and decisions, I guess. But no, I definitely give Arc 5 a chance if you haven't, at least for the first season or so. But just know that, like, yeah, they ran into production issues towards the synchro arc, which is also why it's so long. And then just Zark at the end was. I mean, you guys watched the dub, but like when I first heard the dub and he started talking, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Gilbert Gottfried!" Like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
have my own joke with it. It's more like I don't know if anybody here has seen like Jackie Chan Adventures when they were a kid.
Oh my
But
god.
there was
Yeah.
one demon named Siwoo, and he looks like Siwoo, but a ripoff, and I was just like, "It's the funniest thing ever."
Real quick
If you
before we move on, I
compare
just want to
them,
say,
it's
also
the
gonna give
bulky upper and the skinny waist and the claw feet and the wings and like it kind of looks like him.
But before we move on to the next question, I want to give quick shout outs to Arc 5 for having the worst openings in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh franchise.
Oh, whoa. Oh.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know.
Very impressive, actually.
Impressive segue because the next question is, what is your favorite OP and ending? My favorite OP and ending? Definitely what was it? OP would definitely have to be Dualism of Mirrors, I think is from. Oh, that's Zexel.
Good
That
choice.
is
Fair
yeah,
enough.
absolutely. That was two voice actresses that sang it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Petite Milady. I think one of them isn't one of them Akane Tatsu. Isn't one of them like the girl that married Soulburner's voice actor? I keep forgetting. I think so.
I think.
Let me double check. I think so.
While you check that, my favorite ending is actually, I think it's one of the most beautiful endings. It's Future Colors from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
That's a good
Some
one.
choice.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I love it. I like get so hyped up with all the colors and like the stills of every character, and then Akiza and Yusei actually holding hands, looking into like a turbulence or what of light or something. I really do like that ending. But we'll go with Dylan next.
Yeah. Oh boy, favorite opening. There's so many good ones. Probably Last Train. Probably 5D's second opening.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's Dark Signer's arc. I mean, it's one of the best arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh. And the opening's just great. Going my way, Precious Times, Glory Days are close second and third. But I would say favorite ending. Favorite ending's tough. It's either Longing Frisia, Zexel's Zale second ending, or Close to You, 5D's fourth ending.
That's a
just
great
My
one.
boy.
Yeah,
My
two-
boy. That's such a good ending.
two songs that I just absolutely love. Absolutely love. So that'd be mine.
Sounds good, Gilly.
Okay, so I'm really torn, and now I'm gonna have to choose. So, for opening, either With the Wind or Go Forward, both of them, I just love just like the rhythm. It's just so hype. Probably With the Wind if I had to choose. For opening, and then ending, probably Glory. I'm a Brains fan. I'm sorry, I can't hide it. But
Dude, your icon is literally Vrain.
look, man,
You know
Like
what?
I can't help it. I just think it's so good. Anyways, that's just my brief about it.
I completely forgot about Glory. I'm changing my answer to Glory. With
All right. Oh,
Glory is
Dylan's okay.
Just
phenomenal.
Woo.
add Glory to
Handmade
your-
is
just add
amazing.
Glory to
I'm
your list of
changing my answer to
endings.
Glory.
Which one is Glory?
It's
Glory
the
is the
fifth
most
ending.
what's the group name? It's Bandmade, right?
Yeah,
It's
Bandmade.
the fourth ending.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah, it's a
fourth
good
ending.
ending.
Okay. Cool. Kamel?
For me, the music in Vrains, it just really Chef's Kiss did it for me. My favorite opening is Go Forward. I think it's opening 3 in Vrains, and Glory, like everyone, like so many other people said for their ending.
Is Go Forward it's like it's focused on Yusaku and I?
Yeah,
No,
Yusaku and I, no, it's the one before that. It's when the Soul Burner gets added. It's
Okay.
pretty much about
That's the
Soul Burner.
second end. That's the
It's
second
like the
opening,
1,
right?
2, 3.
Yeah.
1, 2,
TOS,
3.
TOS.
True. It's so good though.
I
All
can
right.
sing the whole song in Japanese beginning to end. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. That's gonna be difficult. I think I'll probably have to go with the ending first because it's harder to decipher which one's the opening that I like. I would have to say that for endings, Longing for You is good too. I haven't seen that far into Reigns, but I do know that Glory is very good as well. Artist itself was also a pretty good one. It was Vislip, those same people that did the ending for 5D's Ozone. That was pretty good. As for opening though, I want to say that like Last Train was one of my favorite ones, and along with Masterpiece is a classic. Those are my picks, but also Braving.
Good. Token.
I was gonna start singing my answer, but now I'm
Don't
not.
sing it.
No, do it right
I
now.
was
Bro,
gonna,
I'll go into your stream, dude, and start singing.
but now
Okay,
I'm
just
not
sing
gonna
it to
do
us
it.
when you're done.
You have to. You're legally obligated.
Mine's definitely Get Your Game On.
Oh my god.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
All
DX.
right, never mind. You're good.
Classic.
A
And
classic.
that one. That's why I was gonna sing it, but now I'm not. That one's just classic because it definitely stuck in my head. I know every word
You heard
to
all
that
us weebs talking about our Japanese openings. You're like, oh wow, maybe this isn't a
Yeah.
good idea.
Well,
one. Right. I'm like, maybe this isn't the one. This isn't the market.
Token's right about one thing. We're all chilling out in the crew with the crew, right?
And we're
In the
we're in the
Discord.
school. We're in the schoolyard. We're finding
Fun
trouble and
fact
stuff.
about that song. In 2nd grade, I watched that show for like a couple weeks, and I memorized the whole song. And at like show and tell or something, I was so proud of myself that I got up in front of the whole class and I sang "Get
Oh
Your
my
Game
god!
On."
This
And
is
that
Really?
day, you were made fun of for the rest of your life.
that was the day, right?
memory that I just resurfaced because you said it was your favorite.
Hey, Token, thanks for resurfacing that like broken memory that like destroyed him
I
as
know
a
that
child.
it's been back there for years, and it's like, whoa!
You just destroyed him.
My ending is gonna be Glory, so I'm not gonna go too deep into that one. I tried to find a different one, but I can't.
No, I mean some are just that good,
It's just that good.
Noah, what's yours?
Opening, it's a tie for me between Masterpiece and Kizuna. And 5D's one, very underrated. And endings is also going to be a tie between Artist from Zayal and Eyes from Duel Monsters.
Eyes is definitely out of left field, but that's a good choice too.
Eyes is stellar. It kind of makes me emotional whenever I hear it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, people sleep on Eyes. Amazing choice. Eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very
it.
cinematic too.
Yeah.
It's Kimeru. What's not to like about Kimeru?
Yeah.
Then we got Slifer.
For opening, I gotta go with Going My Way. I think Mirai A, the last season 5D opening. And I don't know if you guys have like heard, but the Italian like original Yu-Gi-Oh opening is pretty dope. It's like I really like it. It's like crazy dance remix.
Yes, that one is actually really fire.
Yeah, and then for endings, I gotta go with Eyes for the Ancient Egypt ending because it's just like it was like the Kagami quality I wish that the season had.
Real quick, just want to bring up one of my friends in the chat just mentioned this as an ending I forgot to bring up that I listen to almost all the time. Tayo from GX. So shouts out to Tayo. That's extremely underrated.
Yeah, I
track.
saw that one in the chat.
Yes, Noah. Yeah. I
Yo,
love it.
Tayo is
Yes.
incredible. Tayo single-handedly carries like the quality of endings in GX.
Oh my god, I was listening to that like nonstop over the summer last year.
It's great.
I love it.
No, it's definitely. I think Zayal has the strongest ratio of openings to endings, and Arc 5 has the weakest. It's the worst one of openings and endings by far. I can't stand any of the openings in Arc 5. Except for Hanate. That one's fine.
That's just good.
Awesome. I think that's everybody for OP and ending. I think a few more we can go over. Let's do best duel. For me, I think the best duel in all of Yu-Gi-Oh was the hype up to the point where you get to the Pegasus dual island match where it's Yugi versus Pegasus because you're like so hyped for that duel.
Oh, very good choice.
Mhm.
Because of the whole ramp up, the whole build up.
Yeah, it's like it's what you're getting into Yu-Gi-Oh for. You finally get that first climax of it, and then obviously you get it. So that's mine. Then we can go to Dylan.
Yeah, a lot of people are always shocked when I say this because obviously having your favorite duel or favorite anything from the original series when you're mainly like a spin-off creator is like viewed as a sin. But in my opinion, the best duel is that Yugi versus Kaiba slugfest in Battle City. And I know the big criticism with that duel is that it was 6 episodes. My God, how could a duel last for a month and a half and be considered a good duel, especially with how quick duels are nowadays and in the more current anime. But the 6 episodes really doesn't bother me. I mean, it's the last time that we ever see the two most iconic, symbolic rivals in not only Yu-Gi-Oh, but all of anime ever square off in a duel. The buildup was fantastic. I loved that duel in the manga and seeing it in the anime. The last 10 minutes just always gives me chills. You have the Egyptian gods going at it in the beginning, and then you have, Dark Magician versus Blue Eyes in the beginning. And I know it's a very, very long duel, but that to me is still, in my opinion, the best duel we've ever had. I would put Shun versus Sora as a close second, but Yugi versus Kaiba, Battle City, that's always going to be number one for me, probably.
We love
I
to
know we're
hear
kind of
it.
doing lightning round. I just want to add on really quick, really super briefly, to add on to Dylan's point. I did not notice because I've only ever read Duel Monsters. I never watched it. But when I was reading that, I did not realize how long it was. I was so enthralled in that duel. It's so good.
Same. I completely agree, Noah.
It's great. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Awesome. Gilly?
Yeah, so to be brief, I feel like other people are going to say the ceremonial duel, so I'm going to choose my boy Revolver versus Soulburner. The final battle that they had, or the final duel that they had, I just felt like was so awesome. Like there's literally no way else to put it, but the duel between them two at the end was great. And I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen Vrains, but wait until you get there. It's amazing.
Fantastic pick.
I love that. Yeah, I love that pick. Camille?
All right, my favorite was what you just said, Revolver versus Soul Burner, but I'm gonna elaborate on a different one since you just said that one. Dennis
Sorry.
versus Shun is my
My
runner-up because Shun is on the cusp of finding out all this stuff, and he is just weighing into Dennis. You can feel the emotion of his character, which is what he's built off of in the first place. Just like, it's all coming out. And I will talk about Soulburner versus Revolver. Yeah, just Revolver realizes where him and Soulburner are existing as people, and he's just like, all right, well, come at me, like give me everything you got. And yeah, that is my favorite duel, Soulburner versus Revolver.
Thank you very much for that, Camille. And Kay, what do you got?
In terms of like hypest duel, I actually would think that that's gonna be very difficult because there's a bunch of hype duels that I remember. I think one of the ones was wasn't it like I think it was like episode 4 of like 5Ds. That was a pretty good one. With wasn't it like Jack versus Yusei before Yusei got sent to the facility, that was a pretty good duel. I think the buildup was very nice because it establishes Jack as a character as well, as the rival that turns into your friend later on again. That was good. I do want to say that basically every single duel that Kaito was in was like very hype. That's one of the things that I remember.
I do love Kaito as a character. He's very hype whenever he's on the screen. The
Thank
Mizar
you.
versus Kaito on the moon, that's pretty crazy.
That was an insane duel, but I think it was insane. But that's like later on.
Hmm.
But some of the early duels that he was in was like very nutso.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, like the 40s episodes
Yeah.
are good too.
Token?
Mine would have I have two. So Yugi versus Jaden is definitely one of the ones that I really like just because of how hype I was when I watched it. Um and then Esperoba and Joey is one of the duels that I always
That one's mad underrated.
Yeah, that one's definitely underrated. As far as how is this happening? What's actually going on here? And I was glued to my TV when I was watching that one. So as far as my favorite duel, it would have to be one of those two.
Awesome. Sounds good. I do like the Esperoba versus Joey. Obviously, Scapegoat is summoned in that episode, so a little bit of a bias, but
You
we
have
love
to
it.
like that.
We love it. Noah?
I got three. I'm not going to give a lot of elaboration. Just going to go real briefly. Judai versus Kronos in season 4 is very emotional and just a very poignant duel. I mean, it's kind of a personal significance to me. Yuya versus Jack round 2 is just insane hype all the way through. Like I there was not a boring moment watching that duel. And before I want to preface this by saying that Shun is an absolute just workhorse, and everything he did in Arc 5 was instant gold. Shun versus Sora is an all-time banger.
When the Crimson Dragon hit the field, not the field, but the background when Jack was going through that double tuning and Jack versus Yuya round 2, one of the best Arc 5 moments.
What
ever,
dude,
man.
that just that entire duel, man, was
Yeah.
crazy.
It's because
There's this moment where Jack knows that he's beat and he just turns around in Wheel of Fortune and just starts laughing and says, "Bring it on." And I'm just like at the edge of my seat, like, "Oh my god."
yes, that duel's hype. Very
Yeah.
hype.
But yeah, Shun versus Sora, Yuya Jack 2, and what was the first one? Judai versus Kronos in season 4.
Awesome. Slifer?
So yeah, no, the Revolver versus Silver are definitely my top three, I'd say, for most iconic. But since everyone talked that up, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I'm gonna go with Yugi and Kaiba versus Darts, because that was, I know it was long. I don't know if it was 6 episodes long, but it was still really interesting because to see Kaiba and Yami team up like that against Darts, just kind of the plays they made, and it was kind of the big conclusion to the Doma arc. I thought was really cool. Yeah, you don't really see that. The whole time you think Kaiba is the salty rival, but he still acknowledges well, shoot, all my hopes and still rest on Yami. He has a better chance of winning this than I do, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, that's definitely not a duel I thought of immediately, but it's still a pretty hype duel. I do like that duel. So let's go into one of the very last questions, and then everybody can start skedaddling. I guess we'll do the
Lightning
giveaway, the lightning round. Let's do what is your absolute favorite season of Yu-Gi-Oh? Start with Dylan.
Yeah, so great question. There's 3 that stand out for me. Probably my I'm not gonna really give crazy reasoning. My number 1 favorite, probably Dark Signers, and I sigh because it's so close between Dark Signers and Barry and Onslaught in Zale. Those are my top 2. And then Battle City probably would be number 1 if it didn't
Ooh,
have
yeah.
Noah's Ark interrupt it in the anime. And so it does take a little hit in the anime because it's technically Battle City 1 and Battle City 2. But I mean, if we're just talking the manga, which obviously we're not because we're talking about the anime, Battle City is phenomenal. A lot of really good arcs, but those are the three that I always have at the top of my list.
Nice. Gilly?
Brains, and if I had a anime exclusive deck, Cyberspace deck. That's all.
Fair enough. Kamel?
I would say Vrains, and specifically Vrains Season 2. I think they really gave all the characters the time and character development they needed, and Vrains already had such a strong base cast of characters, and each one of them evolved like crazy in the second half. And I just think that made for a really entertaining Yu-Gi-Oh! All the characters really felt like they were strong in their own right, and it showed in the duels and in the episode. So yeah, I'm gonna say Vrains Season 2.
Great picks. Kay?
World Duel Carnival arc. I think that's like underrated, but a lot of people think it's slow, but I think it's good. Dark Steiner arc is also heavily praised, and I agree. It was some of the best writing I've ever seen. And Baron Onslaught was very good too.
Yeah, Barry and Onslaught was really good. I like that one.
Yeah, I cried so much there.
I love Alit. Lit's so good. Token?
I'm just chilling out with the crew in the schoolyard, you know.
Why did I even ask?
Never looking too hard.
But it's definitely GX, and I would say season. Yeah.
I'm interested.
I thought it's either gonna be 3 or 4, but
Usually people go with the Supreme King one, right?
yeah, Supreme King was definitely crazy. That's why I'm so torn between like I'm gonna go with the Supreme King art.
Mm.
Amazing from just especially since GX is my favorite series and I saw the development of Jaden and then seeing that, I'm like, well, this is amazing. So definitely Supreme King GX.
Awesome. Noah?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Zayal is the best work that Studio Gallup's ever produced, and the best arc from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is specifically the Spirit World arc in GX, where all the students are stranded and everybody's turning into a zombie.
Fair enough.
Specifically that one.
Amazing.
Specifically that one, because it is so different than anything we had in GX up to that point.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that section of GX was so different, and I think since then they've tried to emulate that sense of like just absolute bonkersness.
It's kind of like it's low key disturbing.
Yeah, like different parts of it have been popping up.
But yeah, Zayal best show. For me.
Awesome. Definitely. For me, myself, I do wholeheartedly believe 5Ds and Vrains to be like the best seasons. But for my favorite season of all time, I'm gonna have to go with the 5Ds Grand Dueling Tournament pre or whatever you call it, where they're dueling the other teams. Team Ragnarok specifically. I do love that team fight as well as the I forget what the other teams are. Team Unicorn. I think that was another fight that I liked.
Tayo, dude.
Iliaster, Tayo,
Tayo's the GOAT.
Ragnarok.
They went all the way with those shitty normal monsters.
Oh, dude, yeah, you had the giant holding hand golem or whatever.
Their backstory was so funny.
Oh, dude, they're the best. They're like, wow, we suck.
Yeah, I love like the tournament arcs in Yu-Gi-Oh! They always seem like such great fan service. Just
You
like
can
exactly
never go
what you
wrong
want.
with the tournament arc, dude.
Yeah,
Like just dueling and from bottom to the top. Simple.
card game, man. You have to have a tournament arc. Slifer.
If I go by series, I gotta go 5Ds for being kind of the most complete in a way, or cohesive, I guess, throughout all their seasons. But if I go just by season, I'll be honest, I really like the Memory World arc for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I feel like it was like, oh, the origins of Duel Monsters and why
Great
like
pick.
Dark Magician and Blue Eyes and all this stuff. And it's just, I felt like it was a little bit of a return to pre-Duel Monsters, even though, yeah, it was like the origin of Duel Monsters, where Takahashi got to write more like character than focus on like maybe worry on the card game mechanics side or something like that. But yeah, I feel like they should reanimate that series or season.
Millennium World is a close second for me. Awesome arc.
That's a very good choice, and I'm happy we pretty much finished around 9 o'clock. So that's really good. We're gonna have to do another anime episode, I feel, because there's a lot we didn't hit. We did get a lot of viewer questions for today, so that's definitely cool. We'll try to incorporate that more. Yeah, for sure. There's so much content to go over. We might have to do like separate seasons in whole, honestly.
That'd be hype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll,
Like why you should watch X, maybe. Like,
I know Token will be the very
GX.
first one. Yeah, for GX.
Sign me up for that one.
I do want to get into the contest for the Zexel coin, as you can see in the top middle of the screen. You got one last chance to enter. It's exclamation point giveaway, and then I think it'll tell you to do exclamation point scapegoat as well. If you guys want to give some closing statements while everybody's typing in the chat, feel free to do so.
Watch sale.
Not to put Dylan on blast, when's the timeline video coming out? I'm just kidding. Take your time. That is quite a can of worms. I just want to say it's been such a pleasure to finally get to talk to you, in this format.
It's been an honor. I can never get through any of these without someone asking about the timeline.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I had to do it for the stream. I'm so sorry.
It's very funny. No, it's been an honor meeting all of you guys and talking to you guys, and to everyone watching right now. I mean, thank you, because obviously without the viewers, this podcast wouldn't be possible. So we appreciate that. Thank you to Scapegoat for hosting and putting all this together. He's got
Absolutely.
one of the best communities in the fandom. I think with the timeline, and I know I've said this before, like, oh, it'll be out in a few months, but I really do think that it's going to be out probably within the next 4 or 5 months. I want to include sevens on that timeline. It's not going to be just a straight timeline. It's going to be a multiverse theory, where I'm going to plot every single manga that we've gotten. I'm going to plot every single anime that we've gotten. I'm going to plot every single movie that we've gotten. It's going to be a little crazy, but obviously it's been about 4 years now since it's come out. The first part, that was before Vrains was even a thing. So I think I owe it to the fans or to people that are interested in that to at least make it as crazy as possible.
At this point,
So-
it's become synonymous with release the Snyder Cut. I hope you realize, like, it's
well, and the Snyder Cut came out, right? It just came out.
exactly. No, it did. It did in time.
So it'll come out. It'll come out. I promise you that. Unless something. Well, I'm not going to say something tragic. That's very dark. But I promise it'll come out.
just,
Famous
It'll
last
come out.
words.
just
Yeah, famous
don't
last words.
don't put yourself.
It'll
Don't put
come.
yourself.
But Scapegoat, man, this was great. Honestly, there are so many things that I would love to talk with all 7 of you about the anime. So I really hope we can
Yeah.
do this again.
Yeah, for 100%. And I mean, I thank you, Dylan, and I thank you everybody else who comes on here. I definitely love this podcast idea, just having a bunch of content creators come on and just speak about Yu-Gi-Oh, So thank you very much, guys, for coming out, for sure.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
So we're gonna roll the dice right now. We're gonna see who wins. If people don't know, subscribers do have a little more luck in this thing, but we've had a lot of people who aren't subscribed so win this thing. So even if you're not subscribed or whatnot, you still do have a chance. So we're going to roll it, and your winner is, what we got? Novice Gamer 1. I think he's definitely in the chat. I
He's
believe.
in the chat.
I'm
Shout out,
on.
Novice.
Novice,
Going on, Novice?
That's Novice.
Yeah, he's been
Very
around for a
Congrats.
while. Novice Gamer, congrats.
Yo,
man.
congrats. That's a sick prize, man. Like,
It
actually,
is, it really
like,
is.
you are gonna be really happy to have that. Like, it's
Yeah, that's dope.
For
Congrats,
sure.
my friend.
Yeah, feel free to DM me wherever you can find me, Discord, Twitter, or whatnot. On here, you can whisper. And feel free to reclaim the prize. I do need your address to send that to you, and I'll be sure
Dude,
to try
I'm
to send it out tomorrow.
sweating. I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here. Need
I'm not in yet. I'm right here.
it. Sure. Awesome. So definitely watch out for our next podcast episode. It's going to be more so for the artists. I know a lot of the artists aren't getting too much love on the podcast for their, forte. We're going to have, I'm hoping we can have them all, do a share screen and have them take, I guess you can say, commissions. It's just going to be like incentive donation or subs for like little doodles that they can do, and maybe even give them a challenge, like a time limit per each doodle. So you want to see a Karibo done in 5 seconds or a Karibo done in 5 minutes, feel free to do that.
That's awesome.
Or even have a versus format where you can have one artist go against another. So we're definitely going to have some artists. I know Jackie Burnell is in the chat. We're going to have hopefully Kay and Slifer if you guys want to come, and some of the other wonderful artists in our
I've
community.
already signed up for it, I think.
Scapegoat, I think it's really cool you're doing that. I think Yu-Gi-Oh has one of the most creative fan bases around. It's so getting a chance to showcase that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
dude. I love the artists in the community. Like I think I just followed somebody. Somebody added me at somebody who did like a fantastic Joey Wheeler art in the morning. I can't remember their name. I think it's Abby. They fantastic art, dude. I love seeing artists every day. I follow them all the time whenever I can. But that's pretty much it, I guess. Nothing really else to say. I don't know if you guys want to give your goodbyes.
Yo, just to
Um,
fanboy over the people in here real quick. I've been checking out Noah Jank. Just discovered him a few weeks ago. Insane videos.
hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
The the breaking down the duel videos. Absolute nuts.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. And next one is being workshopped. I'm also working on another video in the meantime that'll be coming out hopefully in the next like week and a half or so. So look forward to that.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Awesome. And
I
I'm
would just say like go follow Slifer. I've been following Slifer since like early DeviantArt days. I'm that old.
I was
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, my fiance actually followed her probably I think like 10 or 15 years ago on DeviantArt.
You guys are some OGs.
You guys are killing me here.
I was like, how do you know Slifer? And she said that. I'm like, what?
Me, I'm just like,
I'm just here forever.
follow Slifer,
God,
please."
I was old. Y'all are old as hell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just like, I've been following Slifer for years and just like follow Slifer, please.
That's crazy how deep the community goes.
God, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna end it here. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you guys to Duel Links Entertainment. You guys are gonna learn how to play some Duel Links. So definitely go watch them. Kamel is part of that 4-person squad, right, Kamel?
Oh boy. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Every bit helps, right? So thank you very much, guys, for
In the next episode.
sticking around. We'll be here the next episode for the
Everyone
art.
for coming and thank you
Bye-bye.
for hosting. Woo!